Boys in the back. Boys.
What is good? We are back with another edition of Boys in the Back. I'm just now noticing this, that Rick's chair is low as shit. I don't know if this is on purpose or if this is just the chair that we have.
Shout out to our short king.
Is this an homage to Aljamain Sterling on the show yesterday?
It is.
Chair was a little bit low there. I am 1/3 of the boys in the back. Connor Burks joined alongside me as always. The now highly seated king on his throne, the man, the myth, the legend.
Good to be with you. Thank
Eric
you.
Jackman. How you feeling, man? I'm not gonna lie. I saw you chuckling before the show. I don't know what you were laughing at, but now I was just so busy I didn't realize how ridiculously low your chair was.
In my head, this is the thought process. Frank goes, it'd be funny. Ariel's locked in right now. He's watching. He says he's watching. It'd be funny if we did this and see how long it takes Ariel to say something. Then I thought to myself, there's not a chance in fucking hell that you're not going to look at me and say something first. And so I was anticipating you doing it and laughing and thinking how quickly this would blow up.
I have to say it's the wide shot that gets me. It's the wide shot that gets me. So yeah, that was nice. Shout out to our chairs here at the beautiful.
It was a nice squeak right after that.
Yeah, man, the chair's not getting any love today. The chair's not getting any.
We're efforting.
How you doing back there, Frankie? The final third of the boys in the back. You can see the jersey. Atlanta Braves, Thrashers
Pretty
on
nice
Tuesday. Falcons yesterday, Braves today. Greg Maddux, legend, all-time GOAT. Because it is UFC Atlanta Fight Week, I'm actually jumping on the jet, hopping on the PJ right after this show to head down to the 404. I will be in attendance. After a hefty fee, the price of these tickets are not cheap. I'm gonna be up in the bleeders with Man of the People on Saturday night because it ain't easy to get into a UFC event these days. We're talking like 200, 250. Getting 5 together, it's not gonna be cheap. But I will be in attendance.
When's the last time they were in Atlanta?
2019, Gastelum Adesanya card.
I was there for that. When they have the
Poirier Holloway card.
When they have the gap.
Yeah.
Usually it's a hotter ticket when they come back to town.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. Since I started working on the show, I knew that I would be in attendance for UFC Atlanta. I said from the jump, if they do a card in my hometown, I will be there. I will be going back. Tried to get the rents to go. Said, Mom, Dad, I know you don't love MMA, but let's head on down to Old State Farm Arena. Join me. We can show you what it's all about. Bob O'Reilly. They politely passed.
I understand.
They said, yeah, we're not interested in that. But it should be a fantastic week and a fantastic Saturday night. I am very much looking forward to it. We'll talk about that at length. We will do pound for pound. Biggest dogs in MMA.
Dogs.
D-A-W-G. That guy's a dog. In honor of the UFC going down to Georgia, my alma mater, the University of Georgia, the Dogs, Bulldogs. So that will be the pound for pound rankings. Your voicemails, super chats, bets, big hitters. All the works you get here on Boys in the Back. Before we do all that, I did want to start. Last weekend we saw Merab Dvalishvili become UFC champion, but you wanted to go to something before
we do that,
yes,
I wanted
I'm sorry.
Just give an update on the Ben Askren. Not from me, from one Daniel Cormier, who's friends with Ben and also hosts a show with him. He had this to say, Daniel, on his channel.
Ben Askren, our good friend from Funky and the Champ, is having a hard time. So that night that we did the episode of Funky and the Champ, the last one, Ben was complaining about some issues. He had some infections. He had a really tough time when he went to that convention in Vegas. He was stuck there for a while. I want to report to you guys that he is now back home in Wisconsin. He's with his family, his beautiful wife, Amy, and everybody's just kind of praying that Ben gets better and we can start moving forward with life for Ben.
Yeah, so we saw that there from DC, a super positive update, obviously. He then clarified some remarks. When he says home in Wisconsin, what he means is he was not in Wisconsin. He has been brought back to a hospital in Wisconsin. He is not at his house. He is not at his home, but he is back in his home state. He is in Wisconsin and, conceivably closer to his family and his loved ones. So a positive update and one that's needed and thinking of Ben and his family.
For sure. It's nice to hear that he is back home in Wisconsin, but
Yeah.
it will be much better news when he's back at his own house with his family. So thoughts and prayers continue to be with the entire Askren family as he continues his recovery. Back to last weekend, though.
Yes.
Merab Dvalishvili defends his UFC bantamweight championship against Sean O'Malley. The man that he took the belt from last September racks up his second title defense, doing it in dominant fashion, this time finishing Sean O'Malley by third round submission. We also saw him beat Umar Nurmagomedov in January. His win streak is now at 13. And just with the names that he is racking up, the wins that he is getting, now 2 title defenses, the dominant fashion that he is showing, we wanted to have the conversation. Who is going to stop this man?
Yeah.
Who is going to dethrone this man?
On Saturday night, after Merab did what he did, I tweeted out basically that, like, this is an unsolvable puzzle. Like, there isn't a way to kind of beat Merab. And I've talked about it before, right? I've talked about how he doesn't need to be efficient, right? He can whiff on strikes, he can whiff on takedowns, and the relentlessness, the knowledge that they're going to continue carries the day for him. And it was met with some people saying, well, this person's going to be the one, this person's going to be the one. Our very own Oven. By the way, we should acknowledge the thumbnail for today's show. Another banger by Oven. Shout out Oven. He suggested that Corey Sandhagen has the best shot to beat Merab. And so that got me thinking, of the options out there, can anybody even do it? And actually, let's start in the reverse order. Who has the best chance? And even if they have that chance, can they ultimately do it? So let's think about the field, right? The Sean O'Malley thing, I think we can definitively kind of say it's not going to be Sean O'Malley, right? He's had 2 opportunities. He didn't win those, and in the second time, he even looked more comfortable, Merab, that is. So I'm going to say that one's off the table. Umar, pretty good first fight, right? Like, had the first 2 rounds on some people's cards and seemed like he was doing well against Merab until Merab kind of like turned up the gas and took that over. But Umar did pretty well.
In my opinion, just looking at the people, if you're looking at the age, where they're at in their careers, I do feel like Umar still would probably be the favorite in my head, just because of the fact that
the favorite from the field, right? Not the favorite over Merab. Okay.
No. I am convinced that when Merab does ultimately lose his belt, because he will eventually lose his belt, the sport moves fast. It sometimes feels like these guys are completely unbeatable, and then out of nowhere they get upset, and then they lose 2 or 3, and it's kind of like, I mean, we're looking at it with Kamaru Usman right now.
Yeah.
You talk about a sport moving fast. This dude was a 15-fight win streak, on his way to getting a 16th against Leon Edwards. So the sport moves fast. Merab will ultimately lose his belt at some point. It's just, who's it going to be to, and how long was the reign? I do think when he does lose his belt, he will probably be a sizable favorite in the fight that he does lose his belt. It will be pretty shocking. It will be an upset. So from the field, the fact that Umar is only 29 years old, he won the first 2 rounds on 2 judges' scorecards with a broken hand. And I believe he did that in the first round.
According to him, yes.
According to him, it was first round. We saw the swelling afterward. There was evidence that he did, in fact, break his hand. I think the fact that if he went in healthy, having already fought him for 25 minutes, you have to think at his age, at 29 years old, he'll only continue to get better. While Merab, getting into this age at 35 years in January, he's going to turn 35, and we know the struggles of 35-year-old champions, especially at these lower weight classes. It feels like it's going to be, two ships passing in the night in terms of where they're at in their career.
Yeah.
If the fight lines up, if they do end up rematching, if it lines up at a proper time, say it's in like a year, maybe like 18 months, I feel like Umar would have the best chance of doing it.
It's a compelling argument, and not only that, he was the favorite, as we've talked about after
favorite,
this fight.
like a minus 250.
He was over 2-1 against Merab, and so you have to think, if he was that big a favorite, there was so many people that believed he had the style to do it. Then he actually looked good in the first 2 rounds. Before he unfortunately suffered an early injury, but looked good in those first 2 rounds. You have to think of the field. He seems like a good option. The other name that comes to mind for me is Corey.
Okay, so I know Oven mentioned that. I did just want to say before we get into the discussion, there are odds now released for it. I know we don't have a date or anything for this. What would your estimate be?
On a rematch, this is a rematch between Umar and Merab, or Corey and Merab?
This is Merab and Corey.
Merab minus 215.
Merab minus 400. Corey
Oh,
Sandhagen
wow.
plus 330.
Okay, that's steep.
I think these are the types of lines we're going to see on Merab Dvalishvili now.
Maybe he will finally earn the respect and deservedly so. It's funny, like I'm the biggest. I've been one of the guys beating the Merab drum, and he should not have been a dog to Umar and things like that. But 400 does feel steep, and maybe I'm revealing my hand because here's why. I actually think Corey has a better chance to beat Merab than Umar does.
48-47 on 2 scorecards for Umar.
That is, he put in a tremendous performance, especially as we've said, considering what happened in the first. If his hand was compromised from then on, it was a fantastic performance by him. What I ultimately come back to when it comes to Umar is, one, now Merab's seen it, and if you give him another chance, we see what happens, right? Against Sean O'Malley, he looked 3 times better. Like it was not even a competitive fight by that point. Like certainly Sean wasn't getting his doors blown off, but man, it was Merab's control from minute 1 till the very end, and then he completely finished them. If you give Merab another chance, I have a feeling he'll do better. I have a feeling he'll do better against Umar. And that's not to say Umar won't do better, but when he's seen what you have and knows kind of like how that fight can go, and also has the knowledge that come round 3 through 5, I'm going to be the one pressing forward, I believe that he's going to have a better chance. And Umar's path to victory is a difficult one. You have to be Merab. Umar's path to victory is, can you do what Merab does, but do it better? And that's a very tough task because I think he's singular. I think Merab is one of one. Corey, on the other hand, while not as effective in the offensive grappling as Umar is, but I would say not a slouch in the offensive grappling. We've seen Corey kind of go to his grappling, especially in the Cheeto Vera fight, where he was just like, this is where I want this fight to take place, and he used it. While not as good as Umar, is good there. And then what I feel he has that is the biggest key and attribute that other fighters in this division may not necessarily have is that flash KO possibility. That, like, Sean O'Malley certainly has power, and he's knocked people out, but he's not really the one hitter quitter guy most of the time. Most of the time, he's like, he caught a slick angle or accumulation of punches and you're worn down. Corey Sandhagen has had these moments of brilliance, like the Frankie Edgar knee, where 1 second, everything's fine, and then a millisecond later, you're on the canvas asleep. That is, to me, the only way that I could see Merab losing. I can't see Merab losing a fight where it's grappling exchanges or striking exchanges, because he tends to just win all those exchanges. If Corey Sandhagen could do something, the brilliance that he summoned at times, like that Frankie Edgar knee and submissions and other things he's done in the past, that would be the way to beat Merab. And so I give him the best chance because I think he's capable of those kind of explosive moments in a way that many of the other guys are not.
The Marlon Moraes, the wheel kick as well.
Insane.
Like, he does have those knockouts. It has been several years since those now.
Sure.
I mean, it's been 4 years, and most of his wins have been either by decision. I know the Figgy was nice. Knee injury accredited
Submission.
to Corey Sandhagen. He submitted him. An accumulation of punches, damage against Song Yadong.
Yep.
And then decisions from there. I agree with you. I mean, I think anyone is live, especially at this level. You're talking about top 5 bantamweights in the world. Corey Sandhagen, he said it in an interview, the last 5 years or so, he has been fighting the best of the best in this division. Like, he is always going against the killers. So I think he's live, but ultimately I think Merab is going to be able to pass that test. And I know it's a fool's game. There is the MMA math of Corey's last 2 losses, Petr Yan, Umar Nurmagomedov, Merab Dvalishvili.
Guys that Merab
made light work of both.
For that, I just go to styles make fights.
Of course.
But what I will say is the Umar matchup makes the Merab matchup against Corey seem a little bit harder, steeper.
I do also think that there's an argument against Corey Sandhagen because you are getting Merab right now in his career. Still 34 years old, still somewhat early into his championship reign. I think every single time that he racks up a defense, it just gets that much harder to defend the belt the next time.
Yeah.
You're living this championship lifestyle. You've become used to being the champion. You know, the satin sheets, everything like that. I'm not saying Merab is a guy to fall into those traps.
He doesn't strike me as that guy.
But every defense is harder than the last one. And who knows if Umar gets a rematch with him or one of these up-and-coming guys. We'll get lower into the rankings after this. But, I think Corey Sandhagen will be live in that fight. I think it's an interesting fight, but I do think ultimately Merab will pass that test.
Yeah, and I feel the same way. I don't see either Umar or Corey or any contender that I can kind of like point to right now that is going to be the one to beat Merab. until what inevitably happens as you've laid out. Like there's just a point where you get too old and there's too many miles and reflexes are slower and you're just not as sharp as you were, and somebody catches you at the right time. And MMA is the type of game where it's like, it feels like right now it's like, oh my God, Merab is in his absolute prime. This could go forever. When in reality, he's probably been in his prime for 3 to 5 years already, right?
We're just seeing it in
on the way
championship
up.
fights.
Now he's finally got the opportunity to be the champion and make the money and do the things. But you're kind of once you've already hit that, it's only downside from there. He may still be in his prime, but it's the end of the prime that you're going to see. And it's how many can you squeak out? Can you squeak out 2 more, 3 more, 4 more before somebody does get that ascent and catch you?
I know, like we say he's unstoppable. Right now, maybe today he is.
Yes.
But this reign will end. They all end.
At 34 every year, and then 35 every year, and then 36 every year is much harder and much more significant than when you're 27 and you're a year older. When you're 28 and a year older.
If it's June 2027 and he's 36 years old and he's still reigning over this division,
Yeah.
My mind will be blown. So at that point, with a pace like he has, that would be like 6, 7 title defenses.
Yeah.
It's like it would a 19 fight win streak or whatever it would be at that point, 18.
He just has the air to me of somebody who's going to be able to do it for an extended amount of time. And also because of the style, if the cardio ever starts to slip, right? If as he gets older, all of a sudden the cardio is a little less, 80%, 90%, now those margins become a lot closer. And all of a sudden a guy like an Umar who is closer to entering his prime, whereas Merab is closer to the end of the prime, all of a sudden that becomes more of a conversation. But yeah, like right now, today, for the next couple years, I just don't see a real challenger to Merab's throne.
Moving through the rankings some more, Piotr Jan, he might get another shot at it just because there's a shortage of dudes to challenge him at some point. 50-45 by him, I just don't see
That's not
him
the guy.
changing enough, especially with him also aging.
Yeah.
To be able to make the changes to get it done there. And then sort of the 5 to 8 range are in this purgatory of being proven to not be at that level to be able to beat Merab. Song Yadong, a great bantamweight, but like he is losing to the Corys, the Piotrs of the world. Figgy, it just looks like it's probably not going to work out with him getting a title at 135. Cheeto, I think, has been proven like I don't think he's the guy to beat Merab. Rob Font, I feel the same way. All very elite level bantamweights, just not to the point to where they're going to get over the Merab hurdle. Now you get into like Mario Bautista.
This is where it gets interesting.
8-fight win streak, gets the slander from the fans, is putting on an unbelievable performance on Saturday and is getting booed, like is on fire, piecing up Patchy Mix, and like he's getting booed. It's sort of that case with a guy like Merab, the Bilals, the Leons, the Magomed Ankalaevs that have to win 10 fights in a row, and people are like, all right, fine, give them the title shot, and then they ultimately win the title, and it's like, it's almost like they're pretty good. Like you could maybe see that with a Mario Bautista. He's on an 11-fight win streak, and they're like, all right, give Mario Bautista the title shot, and he ends up winning.
He honestly doesn't seem that far because of what you said. Like those guys that are kind of like contenders, but not really able to make that next leap. You beat one of those guys and you're kind of there. You're kind of in that title conversation, especially considering how many of these guys Merab did have to already face on his way up. He's faced nearly everybody. It's why we're like, all right, Corey, because he's faced everybody else. Like who else other than Corey is there that's interesting at this point? I could see a Mario Bautista entering this conversation, but like, look at the rest of the names on this list. Like they've all either been beaten by like O'Malley, another contender, Merab himself.
He has wins.
Sledding.
He has wins over the top 3. We just went through the 5 to 8. Just aren't going to get a title shot. He's got a win over number 10, and then Bautista. It still feels like he's 1 or 2 away, but like he is creeping into that conversation of just like, all right, there's no one else, and this guy is on a 10-fight winning streak if he gets to that point.
I think you need to have some of the like Jan, Figueiredo, Vera, Font guys fighting, and then like elevating them, and maybe one of them gets a title shot just because they haven't fought Merab yet. But I don't expect it to be a competitive fight, if I'm being honest.
Then we just said 10, Henry Cejudo. That's not happening. He's kind of down and out, and he's also lost to Merab. Ayman Zahabi is number 11. Sure. He's on a great win streak. The issue there is he's 37 years old.
Yeah, we're talking about Merab like being on the tail end of the prime.
It almost feels like Zahabi, this run is incredible, but it feels like he's going to stumble right before he gets to the top.
Potentially, but I'm open to let's see it, right? One of those guys like the 7 through 9 range, give an opportunity to a guy like Amon and let's see what happens.
Kyler Phillips still young, but
he's got some time, but
lost to Rob Font last time out. But things can turn around quickly. He's fighting someone soon. Kyler Phillips
he's fighting a great one.
And here I am not able to think of it.
No, he's fighting another like all action type guy. Who's he booked against? Let's see.
I want to say International Fight Week. Lock Dog.
Yeah.
On the Dustin Poirier card.
Be still my heart.
Well, that's what we can get into these last three, which I find fascinating. Marcus McGee is getting the Petr Yan fight. He's undefeated in the UFC, but Marcus McGee is 35 years old as well.
I know that's
not
a
young.
name though. That's an interesting one actually.
If he goes out there and beats Petr Yan, then he's right there.
Yeah, it'll be Corey next,
of course.
But maybe Marcus is just like gonna wait and be next in line after that.
If he beats Petr Yan,
if he beats Yan, what else do you really need to prove at that point? And also, like, why bother? You know, Merab's gonna, if he gets past Corey, he's gonna fight in 2 months after that anyway. Just wait in line, and maybe that's your opportunity.
Montel Jackson, very
shout out to our
very
boy.
Talented, our guy. Montel Quick Jackson needs to be fighting more, I would say. Like, he's only been able to fight once a year, not of any fault of his own, as he told us in the interview. But I think he needs to get more active to get into that title shot range. And then 15 is Lock Dog. Get a win over Kyler Phillips, and then book him against one of these dudes. Like, book him against the Song Yadong. Book him against a Sean O'Malley.
Yeah.
Lock Dog, Sean O'Malley would be crazy. Book him against the Figgy to where he can really propel himself up there. If he continues these exciting fights, continues to get on the mic and be a personality, there's potential there. He's also young himself.
This division reminds me of welterweight before the turnover. This reminds me of like Kamaru Usman's welterweight title reign, where it was like Colby's floating around the top, Jorge's floating around the top, Gilbert Burns is floating around the top, and it was the same kind of like 5 to 7 names, and they were all veterans, and they were all kind of like in that mix, and they were fighting each other. And then Bilal versus Gilbert was another one of those that just kind of like maintains order. Then all of a sudden, they started fighting the young prospects, and we got the Shavkats up there. We got the Ian Machado Garys up there. We even got Carlos Praches up there. Bilal finally broke through, got his title opportunity. Like, we're in the moment pre-turnover, and I could really quickly see in a year or two that division being like, okay, Marcus McGee is a top contender. Okay, Lock Dog is a top contender now. All those guys, Mario Bautista is a top contender now. And then we're looking at something legitimate as challengers for Merab.
It's going to be very interesting. I think ultimately the reign does come to an end at some point. It's just when it is and who's it against. And we're doing all this, and then it's just going to be Corey Sandhagen next fight.
Yeah.
And we'll just be like, well, that's when it ended, eh?
There's some people that believe. I know Oven was one of the ones who was thinking Corey would be the biggest challenge. And so I think there are believers who think that Corey has a shot. I ultimately side with Merab, but as good an opponent as any, I'd love to see Corey get his opportunity.
All right, let's go to this weekend.
Yes.
UFC Atlanta. I will be in the building. I cannot wait for this one. Main event, Kamaru Usman taking on Joaquin Buckley. And like you talk about a changing of the tides at welterweight right now. Joaquin Buckley in that long line, ranked number 7th, but in that long line of guys that are going to be asking for a title shot after their next win. He could bump into that top 5 with a victory over Kamaru Usman here. And I think he's getting Kamaru at a good time.
Yeah, it seems like you were talking about that kind of like crossing of ships point where it's like one guy's closer to the end than the beginning, and Joaquin's obviously on the way up. This feels like one of those opportunities and one of those crossing points. I don't know where Kamaru Usman is right now in his career, because I was impressed with the performance against Hamzat Chimaev, but that feels like ages ago at this point. Like, it has been a long time since we've seen Kamaru Usman in the cage. And so if he can be that version that warded off a Hamzat Chimaev that I have in my top 5 pound for pound, that's going to be a tough night in the office for Joaquin Buckley. but he's, what is he, 37 or 38? How old is Kamaru? Kamaru
38.
is 38 years old.
38 years old, and you mentioned the Hamza Chimaev fight. It has been 500. It'll be 592 days.
So nearly 2 full years.
Yeah, so like we're talking about like 20 months since we saw him last time, and he's not getting any younger. Those knees aren't getting any healthier. It's tough to know where he's going to be at going into this fight.
Yeah. The other side of the coin, I know exactly where Joaquin Buckley is going to be at. He's going to be trying to strike in moments that Kamaru Usman allows him to have those opportunities. And if that's getting shut down, he might switch to the grappling. And we've seen him do it in the past where all of a sudden he's deciding like striking with Wonder Boy for a bit, switches to the grappling, the fight goes his way. He's very well-rounded. I think he's peaking right now. This is like the best version of him that we've seen. He's defensively sound. If he's busier than Kamaru Usman, I don't know that Kamaru has the like concussive knockout power that we saw years ago in the knockout of Jorge Masvidal that is necessarily going to threaten Joaquin Buckley. And then I'm just thinking Joaquin Buckley can kind of win the decision if Kamaru can't get him out of there. The wrestling's probably going to be the X factor if Kamaru goes back to the old ways and is like really aggressive on trying to get Buckley down. I'd be interested to see how that goes. Maybe Kamaru can be the superior wrestler, but I just don't know. It's almost like I know exactly what I'm going to get from the Joaquin Buckley side, and I have zero idea what I'm going to get from the Usman side. So it could go either way, and it's really dependent on Kamaru.
Yeah, I feel like you have to lean Joaquin Buckley just because of what you mentioned. Like his finishing upside is all going to be with Buckley, in my opinion. I think if Usman's going to win, he's going to have to really just grind on Buckley for the 25 minutes and just implement his will. And then the volume from Buckley is a scary thought for Kamaru Usman as he ages. He's never really been like he's not a high volume dude as it is. And then I just think the striking at range, I just think Buckley has the advantage there as well. It's insane to think, like you talk about the sport moving fast, it's insane to think that Kamaru Usman just like less than 3 years ago was this long-reigning champion, and now he's like a plus 250 against Joaquin Buckley. Yeah,
the sport moves really fast, and also the time off, the continued absence of Kamaru Usman from this division, and from Jordan whispered in my ear to keep it together. It was impossible. The crawling got me. But no, I'm less shaky, or I'm not fading Kamaru Usman because I don't believe Kamaru Usman still has it or still has something, and I'm not fading Kamaru Usman because I don't believe that Kamaru Usman has the skills to beat Joaquin Buckley. But it's a father time thing. It's just 38 years old, that long off. It comes for everybody, and inevitably it's just kind of the reality of what we see with these aging fighters, regardless of how great a championship reign you've had, regardless of how long you've been on top. This comes for everybody. But the last performance still sticks in my mind. The performance against Chimaev is still as good as we've seen people do against Chimaev. Like Gilbert Burns, Kamaru Usman really had gritty, kind of tough outings with Hamza Chimaev, and I rate that. But 2 years off, 38 years old, I just don't see how the young hungry lion doesn't eat the older one here.
Gosh, I guess, and like that's not a bad point by you mentioning Gilbert Burns also having a good outing against Hamza Chimaev, but then he just fought the young up and comer in Michael Morales and got knocked out in the first round.
It comes for us. It comes for us, all of us.
Yeah, I'd love to see Usman turn back the clock. I think we'll know pretty quickly into the fight whether or not he's going to be able to do so. I think within the first couple of rounds. And I still rate Usman's toughness very
toughness
largely.
100%.
I mean, beyond the Leon Edwards head kick out of nowhere, like this dude is as tough as they come. He is incredibly hard to finish. So like I think he's going to be able to hang in there. It's just like you said, man, that father time, it eventually comes for everyone. And I think here is where it does come. And at that point, like, where do you go as Kamaru Usman from here? Like, now you ain't getting another title shot. You're 38 years old going on 39. You've lost 4 in a row. Now you're losing to guys that are ranked number 7th. You have nothing else to prove in the sport. Like, it feels like you're approaching that territory where it's time to hang them up.
Is there an interest in like Kamaru versus Colby if they both stick around? Like,
man, I don't know. Do we want to see it again?
It was great both times. Like, it was pretty. The second one was not great. The second one was good. The first one was great, and so I don't know. Like, I'll say this. I don't think Kamaru Usman has anything left to prove, right? If he loses this fight, there's
course
not
not.
another guy out there that I'm like, if he gets it done against him, like, there's nothing else that Kamaru needs to do. He had an incredible championship reign. But I feel like people could still get up for a Kamaru Colby. I know Dana White personally loved that one so much that he was like clamoring for the rematch. I guess I could kind of get up for that if he wants to stick around, but there's not anything that I'm like, I'm dying to see Kamaru Usman fight XYZ person. If he wins, though, shit.
If he wins, shit, man.
Yeah.
Book him against one of these top guys.
Another-
Kamaru versus Gary. Kamaru versus... I mean, Sean Brady was calling for that fight for a while.
You do another just young lion, and you're just like, Kamaru, you're going to have to take me out of here. You're going to have to kill me. And you just keep knocking them off if you can. I don't mind it. I mean, the dude stepped in on short notice against Hamzat Chimaev. If that was...
He ain't scared to fight
This
anybody.
is the bar. Like, this is still lower from there. But yeah, there's nothing that I think Kamaru has left to do in this sport per se. But I still think there's fights that I'd be interested in watching Kamaru fight. I just don't know what the stakes are and what he's interested, what his motivations are. I'm sure he's saved some of that championship money and probably doesn't need to.
The championship money, movie money. I mean, bro's
Yeah,
in a
shout
Black
out.
Panther. Like
Yeah.
he's I think he's doing well for himself. And now him and Henry Cejudo have a successful podcast. Like I think he's got other endeavors that he could focus on if this one doesn't work out for him. On the flip side of that, Joaquin Buckley, if he gets it done here, it's just like, unfortunately, you're in a very long line of people who are going to be calling for the title shot, but his next fight will be massive. It will at least be either a main event of a fight night like this one is, and he'll get another one of those under his belt, or we're talking main card of a pay-per-view for sure. Like you can be talking about Buckley versus Ian Gary. I know he's been clamoring for that one. You could do Buckley versus Sean Brady. I feel like Leon Edwards, like, while he's ranked 4th, I feel like that's not really who Buckley would want to be fighting. I don't feel like that gives him an automatic title shot with where Leon is at in his career. I guess that would kind of follow his trajectory of wins, though, like Colby, Wonderboy, Luque, Kamaru.
Sure.
Just like former champions that are kind of past their prime. But like, you could really make some fantastic fights, and like, you'd have to think if he wins this weekend, he is like 1 away and then waiting for a title shot, 2 at absolute most.
There's like 5 guys in the same spot, though, is the problem. Like,
That's the difficult part.
It's just a weird time for welterweight. It's kind of what I was talking about. I was talking about how bantamweight is in that pre-phase before this phase where it's seemingly no contenders. It's like Corey's the only one who hasn't fought him in the top 5. And then welterweight, it's like, oh my God, there's so many guys here that could conceivably fight for the title.
Just like,
not pictured Islam Makhachev, who is going to fight for the title.
Look at these rankings. You have Bilal, who's going to be clamoring for another shot at the title, especially if he beats one of these top guys.
No, he's not allowed to fight him, remember?
Exactly. Right. Yeah. What are you doing? You're moving up to 185 Bilal? Sean Brady, of course, is like right there. Maybe one more or just sitting on it. Shavkat got the title shot, then fought Ian Gary, beat him, and you would think would be next in line to get the title shot after Islam Makhachev, but at that point, it's like so much time has passed. He might have to take one more. Leon and Kamaru feel like they're the odd ones out in this list. It feels like they're a step away from the title. Gary is 1 or 2 away. Joaquin Buckley is 1 or 2 away. Michael Morales is 1 or 2 away. Like, you have 6 dudes right there that are going to be clamoring for title shots, and then one of the UFC's biggest stars moving up from 155 to slot himself in against JDM.
Yeah, 100%. The names are very obvious. There's a clear distinction between old guard, new guard, right? Bilal's probably the one who kind of floats between, so we'll not count him for a second, but Jack Della, new guard. Sean Brady, new guard. Shavkat, new guard. Leon Edwards, old guard. Kamaru Usman, old guard. Ian Machado Gary, new guard. Joaquin Buckley, new guard. Michael Morales, new guard. Colby Covington, old guard. Gilbert Burns, old guard. It's like this change is happening, and the old guard is dropping and dropping and dropping down the list, and the new guys are coming up. But yeah, if Joaquin Buckley wins, and I think we're both kind of feeling like at the moment that's the way the wind blows for Joaquin, he's just in that mix, and I would be. We don't have to convince Joaquin Buckley to do some call-outs. We don't have to convince him to make some noise. I'd be calling for Ian Gary. I'd be calling for Sean Brady. I'd be calling for one of them to just kind of put yourself ahead even further in the pack, because they're all so bunched up together, and there's going to take some time to resolve. We still don't know. Let's say Islam and JDM resolve their business, right? Islam or JDM is now the champion. JDM defends, or Islam is the new champion. We don't know if it's going to be Shavkat We don't know if it's going to be Ian. We don't know if it's going to be Brady. We don't know if it could even be Joaquin with an impressive win here over Kamaru Usman. There's so much that remains to be seen. If I was in that pack, I'd just be trying to get a fight. Make myself the most recent example of what's happened, and Joaquin has the advantage of being the most recent, and then hope that that's enough to carry it into the title shot.
Yeah, I think this is all working out perfectly for him. Since he came back down to welterweight, he's 6-0. I think we've learned. I think he got enough flack. Like, he called out Conor McGregor after one of his wins, and everyone was like, "Is this the worst call out of all time?"
I thought that was a little overstated. It was fine. Everybody calls out Conor. Who cares?
He called out DC at one point, I think, or was that online?
No,
he
that was
trying to
like
fight DC?
him and DC had like a little beef that they squashed. Yeah.
Get on the mic. If he wins on Saturday night, you beat a legend in Kamaru Usman. You get on the mic and you essentially say what you just said. Gary, Brady, Shavkat, Bilal, doesn't matter. I want someone ahead of me, and I want him as soon as possible, and then I want the title shot.
By the way, I believe, and if the chat corrects me if I'm wrong, I think he actually did exactly that in the last fight, which was, what do you guys feel about these options? And he's like going to the crowd, and then like one of them was Kamaru Usman, and he's like this guy, Kamaru Usman, and everybody like got excited about it. So like,
I think I was watching it on Buffalo Wild Wings. I think it was muted.
But I think he did like call a response with the crowd, and it was exactly that. It's like all these top guys do the same thing. I want any of these one guy. They're all scared of me. I want these guys, and then actually try and force them into a fight. The problem is going to be like, who's going to be the first one to be like, yeah, I'll put it on the line? Seemingly to me, it seems like Ian Machado Gary is the most raring to go.
Well, that works out perfectly, man, because he's always calling out Ian Gary. He's always saying the buck first, the cuck crap. Like, he's always going after him like that.
We saw him and Layla, like there was like the video of them at the presser or something. I forget what it was, or the weigh-in ahead of Ian's most recent fight. He's been pressing that button, certainly.
And he'll continue to press it for sure.
And it would be smart to do so. Look, we can debate whether the line is being crossed on some of the rhetoric there. But it's smart from a promotional perspective. It's smart for him to kind of try to push those buttons. Bilal has to be hungry for a fight, right? Bilal knows he's probably not going to get the next opportunity, especially if Islam wins. As he said, they've trained together. I don't want to fight him. And Islam did the whole thing of waiting to see if Bilal wins or loses. Bilal should be somebody who's looking for an opportunity like a Joaquin Buckley to just say, okay, I'm still the top of this division, and send it back. So I think he'll be able to find something, but I don't think there's any doubt he's going to have to fight once or even twice more.
Yeah, I think for sure. It's just 170 is too stacked. He's on a great
run.
Good,
by the way.
I love it.
This bullshit of like, this guy deserves a title. There can't be 6 guys that deserve a title shot. Let them fight and figure it the fuck out.
Well, and in a division this stacked, you're going to have to fight. You can't you can't rest on your laurels, man. You're going to have to fight, and you're going to have to fight absolute killers.
Yes, and I love that. Welterweight's exciting right now. Welterweight's really got some juice.
Yeah, I mean, Buckley, if he wins this weekend, that's 7 straight, man.
Fuck.
7-0 welterweight. And he's got 1 or 2 more for sure before he gets that title shot.
I love it.
It's fascinating.
Shavkat's got on a nice little win streak too.
Yeah. What is it, 19 now?
19, 20, whatever the fuck.
Almost all of them exclusively by finish. It's going to be a great one. I can't wait for it. I think both dudes are going to hype up the arena on Saturday night. I think it's going to be a full house in State Farm, and I think it's going to be great. Co-main event, Rose Namajunas taking on Miranda Maverick. Another former champion. They used to train together with Trevor Whitman. Taking on Miranda Maverick. You know, another up-and-comer. I mean, she's been fighting a lot as of late. I know she lost to Jasmine Jasdavicius a couple years back, but she's racked up 4 wins since. This is another great name to put on her resume, kind of move her up into the upper echelon of this division. But, man, I feel like Rose at range is going to be able to strike, going to be able to land what she wants. I feel like Miranda Maverick is just going to have to make this dirty, make it gritty, force takedowns, push her up against the fence, and that's her best path to victory.
Are you surprised by the line? Are you surprised? Because I have to admit, I'm surprised Rose is this big a favorite, and I only say that from like the conversation we've been having this whole day, seemingly so far, about like, this is closer to the end than the beginning for Rose, right? And Miranda's just kind of getting to the scene in a certain capacity. I'm also, stylistically, I could see a world where Miranda is able to kind of make it dirty. So I don't know. I thought this would be closer.
Can Miranda have the same success that Erin Blanchfield had in, I think it was rounds 3 and 5 of their matchup last year? I don't know. I kind of feel like Erin Blanchfield is sort of like the step up from Miranda Maverick. I feel like this is a step down. And she lost that fight 48-47. I just feel like in the striking, Rose is going to have a ton of success. It's just, can Miranda steal the rounds by using that wrestling, that grappling, and sort of controlling the fight?
Yeah. I guess I ultimately do favor Rose, but I don't know. There's something about Miranda and her recent success that I'm like, I think there's a way. I think there is a path to it. This is 3 rounds, right?
Yeah, just 3 rounds.
Yeah, that's harder, right? Because obviously you're giving a great striker in Rose Namajunas.
Or it's easier if she's able to get the takedowns, because we saw Blanchfield be able to get long periods of control time over Rose.
I do feel like the shorter fight usually favors like a veteran like Rose who's been there before and can kind of accumulate the rounds. But to your point, yeah, maybe if she's able to get some top control and keep her there for the first 2 rounds, it doesn't really matter what happens in round 3 all of a sudden. I don't know. I think it's closer than lined. Maybe there's a little bit of value on Miranda Maverick, but I don't know what to make. Like, we're gonna have to see what version of Rose Namajunas turns up in June of 2025. She's been doing this a long time.
Well, she's another one of those ones, like a Kelvin Gastelum, like a Vicente Luque.
Yeah,
31 years old.
Yeah.
Feels like she's been around forever.
It feels,
31 years.
Feels like she should be 45 because she's been around in our lives for so long.
I mean, if you look at it, like Rose was able to have success against Erin Blanchfield. She ultimately lost the fight. She was really able to have success against Tracy Cortez, who fights a similar game plan in terms of like mixing in the takedowns and using that pressure against Rose. So I don't know. This feels like, to me, like a step down for Rose Namajunas and a step up from Miranda Maverick's previous competition. And I do like the striking advantage for Rose in this one.
Yeah, I think I ultimately lean that way too. But
I think the crowd also. Rose is like she's a casual's delight. Like she's beloved. She's a fan favorite. People love watching her. She's definitely a name that a lot of people that are just like, oh, the UFC's in Atlanta, like let's just go. They'll see Rose Namajunas and be like, let's go, Rose.
Yeah. Of course, Rose, shut up.
I think the crowd will be heavy on her side. I think it likely goes to a decision. I think Rose in the striking will create loud cheers. I think it'll be a decent fight, but ultimately, I think it's Rose by decision.
Yeah, I lean the same way, but I think Miranda's going to be live. That's my gut feeling.
Okay, featured bout of the evening. We had a decent discussion about this one before we went on the air. Edmund Shabazian taking on Andre Petroski. Sneaky 3-fight win streak for Andre Petroski.
Yeah.
Sneaky 8-2 in the UFC.
When you told me this, my mind was blown. I could not believe that Andre Petroski was 8-2 in the UFC. I couldn't believe he had 10 UFC fights.
Yeah.
I'm like, didn't I just see this guy like debut? Like, it did not feel that long ago. He's been busy.
I want a stat on how many times Andre Petroski and Cody Brundage have been on the same card. And like Julian Marquez, and like for a while, Nick Maximov, like all of these guys were like the same dude in my head.
Yeah.
He's just like middleweight grapplers.
Phil Haas.
Phil Haas, just like these guys that like they win some, they lose some, and it's like I feel like I've just like confused all of them. I've thrown them all into like a cauldron and mixed them all up, and then I was like, oh wait, Andre Petroski is 8-2 in the UFC.
Yeah.
With wins over Adolfo Vieira, Gerald Mearshart, I believe, is on his resume as well. Yeah, like other than like we were at that Jacob Malkoun fight in Atlantic City where it was like a hip,
body shot,
elbow,
finish,
like it was like he got shot, he got hit in the body.
His hip. That's right. It was his hip.
It was like the oddest finish. Like they just like clinched together, and then Petroski was just like done.
His head bounced off Malkoun's hip, if I remember correctly. I wish we had the broadcast audio for that. We were in the building. Somebody can tell us if something else happened, but it seemed like it was his hip that knocked him out.
So routine.
This is an Edmund Shabazian fight. It's gonna go one of two ways. Edmund is gonna blitz him and murder him, or Edmund is gonna blitz him and Petroski's gonna survive it, and then in round 2 and 3 he's gonna take over and it's over. Like it's every Edmund Shabazian fight. It doesn't really matter who the opponent is.
He is definition of killer be killed.
Yeah.
Just like going back to after the Ultimate Fighter making his UFC debut, just like 38 seconds done, minute 12 done, 227 done, then round 3, round 2, round 2, round 3, and then just round 1, round 2, round 1. Like he has one decision on his record in the last 6 years in the UFC. Like he is just killer be killed. I'm with you. I think Edmund either comes out here and he can crack.
No, Edmund's power, yeah.
And we've seen Petroski finish because it wasn't just the Malkoun fight. He also lost to Michel Pereira, got finished in the first round in that one as well. Like he can be finished, and Edmund can absolutely crack. So I think he goes that way, or Petroski is able to take control of it, grind on the fight, and essentially just win the minutes over the 15 and win by a decision.
Yeah, as we get into round 2 and 3, I imagine the grappling is going to take over for Petroski, and he's going to be able to control Edmund, but he's going to have to go through hell the first 6 and 7 minutes. That's just how that goes with Edmund. But yeah, there's a path to victory for both guys. I'm interested to see how this plays out, but it almost is like it's the same story with every single Edmund Shabazian fight. It's the exact same story.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be fun for the fans.
Oh yeah.
Unless it's just like 14 minutes of control time from Andre Petroski.
I find it hard to believe that outcome,
I
but
don't think
maybe.
that's gonna happen.
I just think
I don't
Edmund's
think that's
too
gonna
live early.
All right, moving on. Cody Garbrandt taking on Helwani Barcelos. This is a fantastic fight, especially if this thing stays standing. I think this one is going to be incredibly exciting, and I actually tend to believe that it will. I think maybe Helwani will go for some grappling, but Cody will be able to fight it off. And if these dudes stand and strike, like it's going to be tremendous. Helwani, one of the more underrated guys, 19-5 in his career, has every sort of accolade you can imagine growing up in Brazil. And then Cody Garbrandt, obviously, aesthetically pleasing striker who has knockout power that can also be knocked out. This is a fan's favorite fight.
Do we see a finish?
I want to say yes because Cody Garbrandt is fighting, but Helwani Barcelos does tend to go to more decisions than not. But I'm going to say that Cody
is Cody going to press him, and then maybe they get into a firefight, and one of them is going to go down.
I think so, unless we see Trevin Jones, Cody Garbrandt here.
Yeah, that's how I see it too. Man, I don't know. Maybe is it foolish to be like, I feel like we're counting out Cody? Like, is it?
I'm not counting him out at all, dude. I've been tempted to play him as a dog. I saw him as big as like plus 170 this week.
He's like around that right now, and I'm like, maybe that's the play, honestly. If they get into a firefight, like I favor Cody, no?
I favor Cody, but also like Cody does have the off switch.
Yeah, he can get caught. We know it. I mean, it's the same. Like I talked about how Edmund Shabazian, there's like a one singular, like Cody Garbrandt's the same thing. Like he's gonna come in there and he's gonna try and take your head off, but sometimes you take his head off. I feel like Cody's another one. Maybe I'm feeling just like dogs in general here. I like Cody.
I think it's going to be a great fight. Helwani obviously coming off the Peyton Talbot victory as a plus 710 underdog. He shows that he's still got it, and I think that one is going to be really fun. I'm going to be hyped for it. Another one, Cody Garbrandt, sort of one of those guys that like the fans will get hyped around, whether they've been paying attention to UFC or not. Very big name. One that is going to be a fan's treat, a killer be killed, is Cody Brundage versus Mansour Abdul Malik. Abdul Malik, all of his wins by finish. Cody Brundage, there's a couple no contests and there's a couple DQs, but like for the most part, like Cody Brundage is fighting, he's either killing someone or he's getting killed. It's pretty much the only two ways those fights go.
Yeah, there's quite a few of those types of fighters seemingly on this card. So Atlanta's getting some action, hopefully, regardless of outcome. But yeah, this one I feel like the favorite is gonna win. I've been on a little bit of a dog, like, hey, maybe we're under representing here. I think Abdul Malik is gonna be able to get Brundage.
He is a minus 800 right now if you want to put some scratch on that.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, I'm going to pass on that, but I do think he'll get it done.
And the fight not to go to a decision has now touched minus 1,000.
What?
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy.
That has all the makings of
a decision.
Going to a decision.
Yeah.
It's one of those ones where it's just like, oh, there's no way. But I mean, Cody Brundage, like if you just look back at his record, like the no contest against Al Hassan, like that fight was not going to finish. That was 7 seconds into the first round. And then from there, he's got one decision since 2021. Cody Brundage is the definition of killer be killed. Mansour Abdul Malik early in his career, so he's only been doing the killing, but every time he goes out there, He has gotten a knockout, one submission on his record.
Yep.
I think it's going to be great. I'm very much looking forward to it. Another giant favorite, Alonzo Menafield taking on Umar Sy. Right now, Umar sitting at a minus 700. We talked about last week there being some huge favorites. You've got Mansour Abdul Malik minus 800, Umar Sy minus 700, Adolfo Bellato minus 400, Malcolm Wellmaker minus 1,800, Ricky Simone minus 515, Jamie Lynn Horth minus 600. There's some big favorites on this thing, man.
Yeah, they're big favorites. But I do feel like what's interesting about these is the underdogs in some of these matchups have big power and can kind of maybe change the tide in one shot, which makes it interesting. So this is a pretty decent like action card on paper.
I'm hoping so, man. I'm really hoping so. Adolfo Bellato taking on Paul Craig. I feel like we get action from that one.
Yeah.
I feel like Bellato will force the action from Paul Craig, and when Paul Craig is forced into action, we almost always see a finish.
That's right. Yeah. You know, Craig, if Craig is not pressed, at times he can be, you know, like the Bo Nickel fight. They're just kind of like striking with each other, and it's not like the most entertaining thing. If you are trying to press Paul Craig, you might get him, but he also might throw up a crazy submission, and that's what makes him so fun. Also, he's kind of talked about like this is do or die for him in his UFC career. So I expect we'll see Paul Craig go out in a blaze of glory one way or another. You know?
Yeah. Shout out to Bear Jew. That fight was supposed to take place a few weeks ago at,
they had
at
to
an
move
Apex
it.
card or something like that. It was supposed to happen back in May, but now we are getting it on the Atlanta card. A couple more here that I wanted to talk about. Michael Chiesa versus Court McGee.
That's a fun one.
It is a fun one. A little bit of like a veterans fight. Court McGee never been submitted in
Tough
his
winners?
career.
Did they both win? I think they both did win. Did Court win tough? I know
He
Chiesa
sure did. He sure did. He beat Chris McCrae back in 2010.
There you go. Two tough winners. Shout out.
Never been submitted in his career. Michael Chiesa likes to get his wins by submission.
It's tough.
It is tough. Yeah, they were both tough winners. Good call there, Frank. Good call there. Yeah.
A little slow on the uptake. there.
slow on the
I didn't
uptake
pick
there.
that one up. I didn't pick that one up.
A little slow on the uptake there. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to this one. Court McGee, like sneaky gets finishes. Like 3 of his last 4 have ended in round 1.
There was a while where he was like decision
machine.
and now it like lately it's kind of been.
I remember I took an over 1.5 in the Jeremiah Wells fight, and that's like what kicked off this like run of first round finishes. And I was like, yeah, I'm good on touching those for now.
This card has a good mix of like recognizable names, some interesting all action type guys. Like I think they've constructed this pretty well for a good night. Now, obviously, you know, best laid plans, but I think Atlanta's going to get a decent one. I think there's going to be some excitement in the building.
I think so too, man. You got Michael Chiesa, you got Paul Craig. Like these are recognizable names. Then you got Cody Garbrandt, Rose Namajunas, Kamaru Usman. Like these are all like fairly big names in the sport that fans will identify with. You know, there's not a ton of guys from the Georgia, Atlanta area, but you got Malcolm Wellmaker and Cody Durden on there.
Okay, Durden, that's right.
Both those dudes
Durden and
rep
Wellmaker.
ATL. Ricky Simone coming in, you know, went over the champ. Don't forget.
Don't forget. Don't sleep.
Forget he's got to win over the champ. So yeah, like I think this is a decent fight night, and I think there's a lot of opportunity for finishes and for exciting fights. None more so than our guy Malcolm Wellmaker, an honorary boy in the back. If you're going to the fights this weekend and you happen to see a bald dude with a beautiful, perfect beard running around in a Malcolm Wellmaker shirt, that'd be me. We placed the order. And by God, Malcolm Wellmaker came through. I think it's going to get to my parents' house in time for me to be able to wear it for the fight.
Love it. Shout
out. It's like
out.
a custom Atlanta 404 one. So yeah, we will be supporting the honorary boy in the back, Malcolm Wellmaker, on Saturday.
You guys discussed the walkout music. Let's see if he delivers on what he said.
I know, and like I had this whole plan of being like the diva, being like the superstar, walking in with like the nice outfit on right as the main card's starting, like, you know, like they do in boxing. Fur coat, everything like that.
Fashionably late.
Yeah, no, I'm going to be in a Malcolm Wellmaker shirt, and I'll be arriving before this fight starts, for sure. Got to support, dude. You got to support the kid. It's going to be fantastic. Going up against Chris Moutinho, I just am not sure if Chris Moutinho is UFC level. I know everyone likes to go back to the Sean O'Malley fight and be like, he's so tough, man. Like he's tough as a $2 steak. His next fight, he did get knocked out in the first round by Guido Canetti. Like I'm just not sure if he's UFC level. And now he gets a guy on the rise that seems to be getting better with every single fight and packs massive power in his hands.
Yeah, and it's a tough return fight, right? Like Sean O'Malley's one thing, but as we kind of talked about earlier when we were talking about the Merab fight, like the one hitter quitter power is like a little earlier in Sean O'Malley's career against, lower level opposition. Like that's not kind of been the story lately. And so the Moutinho fight was, he was putting it on him, but it was really just an accumulation. It was the volume that he was putting on Chris. I don't think that him getting knocked out detracts from. I do think he's as tough as a dude. Like he really is as tough as advertised. But as you said, like that's not skill, right? Toughness is going to keep you in fights, but that's not the skill. And Malcolm Wallmaker is extremely skilled and it hits extremely hard. And so I imagine he'll get finished, even though we know he is very tough.
Phil Rowe, Ange Lusa, Vanessa Demopoulos, Jamie Lynn Horth kicking off the card. I think it's a solid fight night, man. I'm looking forward to it.
It looks pretty decent.
I'm hoping I can end this streak of like subpar cards watching them in person. I also lose my bets every time I go. 3 for 3, I have had losing nights. There's the card right there. Look at those graphics. Shout out to the graphics department, man.
For sure.
Kamaru Usman, Joaquin Buckley headlining this one. Solid main card, man. I think we're in for a decent amount of finishes. Prelims. Shout out Paul Craig. Look at that hairline, man. Shout out to Bear Jew. Court McGee. Spelled incorrectly? No, no big deal. Shout out to Smotherman. Yeah, it's a good card, man. I'm looking forward to it. Blonde Simone, is that who we're getting on Saturday night? Blonde Simone?
Is he still with that? I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know. That is not the only MMA happening this weekend, though. It's actually a jam-packed weekend. You've got KSW. What else you got? You got an LFA card, a UAE Warriors card.
Ice Wars presented by BKFC.
Yeah.
I'm in on that, actually.
Yeah, hell yeah. I'm in on it too, man. Ice Wars, Bare Knuckle.
You got Glory 100.
There's a Ryzen fight. There's an Octagon fight card. Glory 100. There's a lot of fights going down this weekend. But tonight at 11 o'clock on ESPN, PFL continues its tournament headlined by Jason Jackson versus Thad Jean. We're getting welterweights and featherweights on this one as we continue to plow through the PFL season, this time happening in Nashville. I'm excited for it only because I want to see the next step for Thad Jean.
Yeah, I'm excited about him as a prospect.
Getting a win over Jason Jackson would be a nice win. And then you'd be fighting for the title.
I agree with that, but the problem is he's facing Jason Jackson, and Jason Jackson's like been hot lately. Like Jason Jackson's clearly in the prime of his career right now, and the guy looks really good. He's also somebody who can both strike and grapple. I don't know, man. Like stupidly, I picked against Jason Jackson in this tournament. Like actually, why don't we bring up my bracket? Oh, look at Jordan. He's already beaten me to it.
I picked against that as well.
I picked against Jason Jackson because I just thought Koreshkov might be like better and more experienced, and Jackson just completely brutalized him. I don't know, man. It feels like Jackson's to win. That's how I ultimately feel. Like it just feels like this is Jackson's world right now, and it's going to take something special to beat him. I don't even think like a Logan story, like trying to grapple him the whole fight is going to be enough to get it done. I just think Jackson's on fire. I am interested to see how that Gene does, but I do feel like, man, this is like a little early to be facing a guy as good as Jason Jackson.
Yeah, still very young into his career. Yeah. You mentioned Logan Storley on the other side of the bracket. Jason Jackson, minus 162 against that Gene.
Yeah.
Logan Storley, a minus 850 favorite against Masayuki Kikirui.
Yeah.
So Logan Storley getting, at least by the odds, a little bit easier of a path there. And I got the two favorites going to the finals, and then I got Jason Jackson winning it all. So we will see.
I'm cooked. Did I have Storley? Bring it back up for me, Jordan. Did I have Storley?
Yeah, you got the bottom half right, but the top half.
All right. And you know what? We don't have to talk about that.
You need to cheer for Logan Storley to win it all. We're also getting featherweights tonight. Jesus Pinedo, Gabriel Braga.
That one's a banger. I love that.
Kai Bulayev versus Tae-Kyun Kim. Kim got a nasty win over Nathan Kelly, and I was doubting him going into that one. That was a nice win by him. Who do I have for picks? I know I had Nathan Kelly going kind of far. Okay, just the second round. I got Movlead and Jesus Pinedo. What are the odds on that tonight? I know Movlead's a favorite. Movlead is coming in at minus 200. And Jesus Pinedo minus 265.
Yeah, we've seen Pinedo and Braga, so I'm excited about that one.
What's Rick's bracket looking like?
I had Braga, but I didn't have Pinedo. I had Boric. When we were making these picks, I was like, yeah, I like the veterans. I'm gonna go with the Bellator guys that are gonna do it. It's not that Jason Jackson isn't a Bellator veteran, but I was like, oh, the old guard's gonna be able to like show him how it's done in the tournament, and it just completely botched. That said, I still do have Movlid Habulaev winning, and I think he will ultimately win this tournament. So we're on the same page with Movlid.
And then it's kind of like as you go down the card, it's sort of tough for some of these dudes who lost in the tournament but are continuing to fight. Like Borics is fighting tonight against Jeremy Kennedy. Umaladov taking on Anthony Ivy. Berkamov, who lost to Thad Jean, taking on Ken Lee St. Louis. So like these guys who already lost are already back in the cage.
I like that though because then they get their paycheck, right? Like they're out of the tournament. They would have gotten another paycheck if they had continued in the tournament, but they're getting the opportunity to still fight. And even though they lost that one, winner go home type fight, a lot of these guys are still great fighters, and I think that it's good for PFL to showcase them on these tournaments. I've been, there's criticisms about every promotion. One of my biggest things was I just didn't see how that season format was working. I like this so much better. This version of the bracket where it's winner go home, winners advance, one round, next round. We're in the semifinals. After this, we're gonna know who the championship matchup is, and they're gonna be in the championship. I feel like this part of it has been a success for PFL. I think this is a much easier format to follow.
I think it's also quicker. I think
it moves so fast.
It's designed to just keep things moving. There's less rounds. There's no need for the season or anything like that. You get to the champions quicker than that, and then you can focus on other cards. I think ultimately they should still get rid of the tournaments, but I think this is better than what they were doing. I think there's still just things you need to clean up. Like I think doing the main card, I know you want to be on ESPN linear, but 11 o'clock main card start is difficult. Like you are shunning essentially the European audience. Like to expect them to stay up till 4 a.m. on a Thursday night is far fetched. You're getting the West Coast maybe, but like even like the people in Nashville, that's a 10 o'clock main card start on a Thursday night if you're in the arena.
Yeah,
Nashville Municipal Auditorium, obviously.
It's it's certainly a late start time. Totally agree with you. If there's a strategy and it needs to be on linear for one reason or another, get it. But yes, I think this could be a little more fan friendly with a different time. Product though, I like what they've done with the tournament. As you've said, like the debate over do a tournament or not do a tournament, I think that can still be had certainly, and there's arguments for and against. But this version is the best version in my opinion. And even if there's tournament fighters that you had seen and wanted to see do some more, now you get to see them in action as well.
Jordan just said in my ear 11 o'clock time. What were we referring to, Jordan?
Start time for the main card is 11 o'clock, not 10 o'clock.
Yeah. I mean, if you were listening to the show, you would have heard that I said for the fans in Nashville who operates on
Frank was
Central
playing,
Time.
Some music over here, so
it's tough. No, I appreciate you guys listening back there. No. Nashville.
Who, me?
Central Time Zone.
Do you think that they actually like? Do you think that PFL looks at like the NBA, NHL schedule, sees that it's NBA final time, Stanley Cup final? They're like, we can't go up against that.
You want me to be totally honest? I think it's a partnership with ESPN, and ESPN is just like, well, if we want to go on linear, we're going to need a 11 o'clock start time for it. I think that's what it is. That's when we'll slot you in.
It's related to the linear schedule, 100%.
Yeah, I think if this was on ESPN Plus, it's probably like an 8 o'clock main card start.
If not sooner, yeah.
I'm very much looking forward to Don Davis's voicemail. I can't wait. We saw Don Davis yucking it up with Russell Brand, who's going to be in attendance at Nashville tonight. Maybe not, maybe not the best move by PFL, but that's their decision to make.
Yeah, not endorsing Russell Brand over here. So
I agree.
We'll see what happens from that. If anything, it didn't seem like there was anything official happening, but maybe I'm mistaken. Maybe there's something that's come out since. But odd choice there.
President of the company, peace signs in the middle of the cage. All right, let's go to big hitters, recaps, Parlay Pals, bets, and then it's time for pound of voicemails. Excuse me. Let's start with the recap from last week. Parlay Pals and my own. A bunch of winners around here. I got clean swept on the straight picks and even the Dvalishvili by decision. Missed them all, but parlays saved the day. This one, and then 2 wins right there. And then on the last, I think there's one more page of this. Maybe not. There it is. That's a lot of W's right there. Checking them all off. Finish up 2.76 units overall. 46.68. And then the Parlay Pals, more green.
Let's go.
Look at that.
We fucking did it.
Only down 1.07 units.
We're almost there, baby.
Knocking on the door. Knock, knock, knocking on profit's door.
That 33% success rate, baby.
Baby. All right, we're all impressed by us. Got some much, much more impressive tickets than those from the audience. The big hitters. Let's start with Jerry just said, Jeremiah. He tweeted this to me and he said, check this out, but he spelled it C-Z-E-C-H. I don't know if he is from the Czech Republic, but shout out to him either way.
He's probably in Yuri's class.
I was going to say, he was like, someone told me to send this to you. I'm just going to believe that Yuri was in class with him. I was like, yo, you should send that.
Send that to my guy, Connor.
6-leg parlay. Andreas Gustafsson as a dog. Easy.
Wow.
Waldo Cortez Acosta by points. Plus 650.
Wow.
Easy. Osman Mirzakhanov by KO. Minus 250. Easy. Joshua Van by KO, round 3, plus 950. Nailed it. Joe Pyfer, minus 390. And then you've got this insane parlay. Go ahead and lop Kayla Harrison, minus 720 on top of it. That gets you to plus 40,601. Turns $5 into $2,035. Shout out to Jeremiah. Shout out to Jerry just said. We keep on rolling. AC the Hulk, Andrew Collins, absolute legend. This, if you've been watching since the MMA Hour days, this is who the Big Hitters was named after back then because he hit like the plus 4 million parlay. He turned $1 into 400,000.
My God.
These are just a few of his tickets from the weekend. Plus 16,961. Josh Van by KO rounds 2 or 3. Kevin Holland by submissions round 1 or 2. Mario Bautista by points. That's plus 370, plus 1,000, plus 230. Gets you plus 16,961. He turns $10 into 1,700. Also hit a Kevin Holland by sub round 2 plus 2,500. And then the cherry on top, Kevin Holland by Darce choke plus 1,600, $10 into 170. Ridiculous.
Incredible.
Absolutely ridiculous. I know Kevin Holland had another name for it. It was like the inverted Darce or something like that. He was like, it's not a typical Darce, but it cashed for AC the Hulk. So shout out to him. We roll along. Daniel Rodriguez. Is this D-Rod? I don't think so.
That's D-Rod.
Hans Patino. Can we talk about like the absolute sweat on both of these? Merab Dvalishvili to win round 3, which I think he won with like 10, 15 seconds left.
Right at the end.
He catches that, turns $25 into 900. And then the actual buzzer beater, I think there was 2 seconds left on the clock. Kayla Harrison to win by round 2. That one turned $50 into 425.
I like your ability to read the Spanish. That's what's most impressive to me.
Oh, yeah. I actually didn't even notice it was in Spanish because it's
fluent now.
That easy for me. Sean O'Malley happened with 18 seconds left, and Kayla Harrison happened with 5 seconds left on the clock. So buzzer beaters for our boy, Daniel Rodriguez. We continue. A couple more here. Roland takes. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Michael B. Gamblin. Kevin Holland in submission round 2 plus 2,500. $50 on that one. Turns it in to 1,300.
Do we think his name is actually Michael B. and he's gambling, or do we think this is like a Michael B. Jordan?
I've always wondered that because we've featured him a couple times. He's one of the sharper bettors out there. I want to think it's a play on words of Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Shout out Michael B. Gamblin. All right, one more. Roland takes. This is an unreal one. Shout out to Hard Rock Bet. I think that means this dude is in Florida. $20 into 9,480. Jusang Yu, KO. Waldo Cortez Acosta, decision. Josh Van, KO. Kevin Holland, submission. Plus 40,780.
Damn.
$20 into almost 10K. Shout out to Roland Takes. That is an unbelievable bet. Shout out to all our winners this week.
These guys are unbelievable.
Shout out to all our winners this week. Absolutely insane, some of the tickets that we get, and we can only feature so many. Congratulations to the winners. All right, let's go to our picks this weekend. Parlay Pals. I've already gotten Pete's pick. He's going main event. He is going Joaquin Buckley.
I like it.
Minus 285. Yeah, I feel like he wins. Let's throw in the randomizer, Frankie. All right, I will go first. Frank second, and Rick will bring up the rear. This one's a no-brainer for me, boys.
Oh.
Got to support our guy.
Yeah.
Malcolm Wellmaker, inside the distance.
Hell yeah.
Minus 575. Shout out to Walla.
Walla.
I will be taking the Maverick, Michael
Okay.
Chiesa himself, to just get it done. Money line.
Get it done, Mike. Get it done.
I'm going to go Jamie Lindhorth.
Okay. Size advantage?
Money line. Yeah, just bigger, better.
Bigger, better?
Yeah, we'll
Minus
go Jamie.
600 better?
Yeah.
This will put us in the green, no?
Yeah.
This will put us in the green. I believe if you do the math on it, plus 140, it will. Come on,
Already.
boys.
Let me go ahead and cash that check.
Hey, this is it. All the signs are matching up. Follow the signs. If you bring that back up for me, 9-17 right now, there's a man who hails from Atlanta, Gucci Man,
Okay.
10-17.
Wait, is it Gucci Man or Gucci Mane?
It's whichever one you want.
Okay.
I guess like it's spelled Maine. His big thing, 10-17.
Whoa.
Brick Squad, 10-17 records. We're about to have a 10-17
Wow.
record after we win to go back in the green at UFC Atlanta. The signs are there.
I love that.
I'm just saying.
You just got to look for the numbers. You just got to look
Signs are
for
on
the
our side,
numerology.
baby. The signs are on our side. All right, let me run through my bets real quick. Don't love a ton this weekend, but you go into a card in person, you got to bet on it. Look at those graphics. Shout out to the graphics department. I am taking Malcolm Wellmaker KO round 1 or 2. 4 of his last 5 have come by KO in round 1 or 2. And like I mentioned earlier, I know everyone wants to point to Matinho's the toughness against Sean O'Malley lasting till the 3rd round. He was KO'd in the first, the very next fight against Guido Canetti. I just think the skill difference here will be on Wellmaker's side. The power is unreal at 135. I think Wellmaker gets it done. And I think it gets it done rather early. We continue. Mansour, Abdul, Malik. I'm going to take KO under 1.5. All of his wins come by finish. Cody, I know there's been no contest in DQ, but like if those fights finish, like he is 2-6 in his last 8, being finished in 5 of those. I don't think this one lasts long. And I think Mansour is the rightful favorite in this one. I am going to ride with the sneaky 8-2 vet, Andre Petrosky. I'm going to say he can survive. Sloppy, maybe. He can survive the onslaught. And if he does, I think he's going to be able to take control of this fight and get it done. So Andre Petrosky, as a dog in the state of Georgia, will he get it done? And then my last single, Rose Namajunas by decision. I mentioned that I think the striking advantage is there. I think she's going to be able to outpoint her over the 15 minutes. Then when it comes to her finishing her, I just don't really see it. I know she dropped Tracy Cortez, but other than the Zhang head kick, she has no finish wins since 2018. I think this is a step up for Miranda. I think this is a step down for Rose. And I think she's able to thwart the grappling enough to get it done. A couple parlays, prop parlays, violence. Wellmaker Matinho under 2.5. Abdul Malik Brundage under 2.5. And then Usman Buckley, pacifist, over 1.5. Buckley has actually gone. I know he's very violent, but he has gone over 1.5 in 11 straight fights. And I believe Usman is 10 of his last 11 over 1.5. So I do think it goes longer. And then lastly, a violence parlay. The under 1.5s in those. Highly exposed. That rarely works out for me, but hopefully it does on Saturday. Talk about Killer Be Killed. It's going to be Penthouse or Cardboard Box on Saturday in Atlanta. Either way, sleeping at the Rent's house, so it makes no difference. But can't wait for that one. We'll probably throw in some extra dumb parlays before Saturday just because I'm going to be there in person, but I'm very much looking forward to that card. Card taking place in Atlanta, Georgia, the 404, the Peach State. And because of that, our pound-for-pound rankings, because of my alma mater, I know it's not in Atlanta, but it is in Athens, just an hour and a half away, the University of Georgia, the Bulldogs, the Dogs, which leads us to biggest dogs in MMA. I'm not talking underdogs. I'm not talking dog breeds. I'm not talking like, oh, he was a plus 850. I'm talking about dogs.
They got that dog in them.
They got that dog in them. After their fight oh, XYZ's X-ray just came back, and it's the X-ray with a bunch of dogs in the picture. Classic meme. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the dudes that they are fan favorites because they are dogs. Like, all of these guys are going to be big names. They're going to be fan favorites because this is the fighting style that we love. Dudes that aren't afraid to fight anybody. Dudes that, when they get hit, they fight back. They never give up. I mean, you know what it is. It's like you know
it when you see it.
There's no textbook definition. Exactly. It's more of a feeling. You know this guy is a dog.
Or girl.
Maybe. Or girl. Yeah, good point. Frank, what's the order, man?
Wait. So did the Atlanta Bulldogs spell it DAWGS?
Atlanta Bulldogs?
Fucking get out. Get out!
All right. The order will be me. Then we're going to go to Ricky Jack.
All right.
And GC's going to finish.
Okay.
My number 5 is Yuri. The man is going to school. He's calling it out. He's doing his thing. He's got that dog in him, if I understand the assignment correctly.
But what does the going to school have to do with it?
You do, but like you didn't mention anything about like why he is actually a dog.
Right, like maybe my next one will
go watch his Glover Teixeira fight. Dude is a dog.
He's got
That's right.
Yeah. At school though.
Kayla Harrison at number 4.
Okay.
All right.
Hey.
Had the injury during her debut in the UFC on her hand that she didn't tell anyone about. Went to the hospital a week before 307 and then got it done even this past weekend. If that ain't a dog, then I honestly, guys, don't know what is.
All right. Shout out to the new champ.
Yeah, I mean, even the weight cut. You could credit the weight cut for she's a dog, bro.
Yeah.
She'll fight through it. She'll go through the mud to get on those scales.
I feel like you're doing a better job explaining this list, but yeah,
Thank
keep
you.
going, Frank.
Number 3, Daniel Cormier. This guy fighting against Miocic, one eye down, still got it done. What a dog.
All right. I think he lost the one with the eye, but yeah.
Okay.
Did that not happen?
No, I think he lost the one where he got poked in the eye.
Guys,
But anyway.
this is his second go at the list. We had to redo it. He had Pugs at number 5.
Oh, fuck.
He
Thank you at least
messaged
for
me
not letting
Wiener
that
Dogs
shit out.
at number 4. He said that's not what they're
those are-
called.
That's also not a big dog.
Oh.
All right, continue, Frank.
Number 2,
Yeah.
Volk.
Yeah.
Yeah, Volk's a fucking
Fuck
dog,
Yeah,
bro.
there we go.
Fuck yes.
And then number 1, Merab.
Yeah,
All
Merab's a
right.
dog.
All right.
Okay.
Merab's a
I'll
dog.
take that.
I am no closer to understanding the assignment.
How do you not get this? How do you not get it?
I went with fighters that I'm like, yeah, fuck with them.
I like that.
Bruh.
By the way, you got a bunch of dogs on there. Like you
right.
landed on some
Merab
dogs.
is a dog.
So this
bro.
is one like you could throw the dart, and as long as
No.
it's
No.
a good fighter, it might.
No, not true. Like who's like a fantastic fighter that I'm not like that's a dog.
GSP,
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right.
but would.
God, deciding these 5 was so difficult.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move on to Ricky Jack.
No, you did great, Frankie. Like Volk and Merab, those some dogs.
Especially because, again, he had to pivot on his list from Pugs and Wiener Dogs to Daniel Cormier.
It was a good. Your pivot.
I
did
low
it
key
well.
I feel horrible about my list. There's just
You feel horrible?
There's just so many names. There's so
I
many
feel
names.
great about my list,
Okay.
but I also have honorable mentions that will last 200 names.
There's one that didn't make it that I'm just like regretting not putting it on.
Oh, all right. Number 5 for me. This one's a dog. This one's one of the OG dogs. In fact, I got a lot of OG dogs, but this one's one of the OG dogs, especially for UFC focused fans. Diego Sanchez. Shout out one of the original Tough winners.
Yeah.
This motherfucker is a dog. The key attributes, the things that I looked for when I was making this list, when I was constructing it, was this kind of just like never say die attitude.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where they are in the fight. They could be getting beat up for 15 minutes, 2 hours. It doesn't really matter. Battered, bloodied. Look at his face here against Martin Kampmann. Diego Sanchez ain't never going to stop. He's never, ever, ever going to stop, which is why I love Frankie's Merab pick. Like, that dude ain't never going to stop. Diego Sanchez, unlimited heart, unlimited relentlessness, always coming forward. Doesn't matter what's happening. Diego Sanchez, one of the OG original dogs. Number 4, that man was just sitting right here recently. He's one of the OGs as well. Robbie Lawler, the ruthless one. Doesn't matter. Stakes up against him every single fight. There's lots of like times throughout Robbie's career where it's like, is he going to be the guy? Is he not going to be the guy? He's one of the most talented, but he's kind of like underperforming. He has this incredible UFC championship run. Never gave up on himself. Never gave up on his career. We get iconic moments like this between him and Rory McDonald. I mean, this is like the definition of two dogs right here. Shout out to the ruthless one, Robbie Lawler. Definition of a dog. Number 3. Again, we're sticking with the old guard. We're sticking with the old guard here. Dan Henderson, Hendo. For those not initiated, just an all-time beast, known for going up against bigger guys. Doesn't really matter. He's fighting light heavyweights. He's fighting at middleweight. He's fighting heavyweights. He's fought Fedor. Anybody that's in there against him. He came to MMA later in his career. Also, how about this picture, Tommy Lee, like in the middle of Vanderlei Silva and Dan Henderson?
Crazy.
It was a wild time back then in the Pride days. Fought everybody. Never said no to a fight. Came to MMA later in his life. He's hobbling around, just launching rockets at people. Never gave up. One of the toughest dudes walking planet Earth. Shout out to Hendo, Dan Henderson. Number 2, it pained me to not be number 1, but I knew who my number 1 was going to be already. This number 2 is probably number 1 on most people's lists. If you know, you know. Number 2, Kazushi Sakuraba. If you're not familiar with this dude, I encourage you to go look back. If you're a newer MMA fan, just an all-time tough guy that like kind of became known for doing that. There was times in his career where he was in fights that it didn't seem like he had any chance to win, and sometimes he didn't, and sometimes he did. But able to withstand insane levels of abuse and still be trying to fight and be mad if somebody's trying to stop the fight. This famous picture here.
God.
And shout out to, I believe this is a photo by Susumu Nagao. I think it says that in the right corner. From his fight against Ricardo Arona. Dude's just been beat to shit and is still there because he's an absolute dog. Like there was a point in his career where he was taking fights against guys that he had no business taking fights against because they were so much bigger than him. And he would lose them, but he'd be so tough in the fights that people were happy to see him try and do it again. Not great for the health, not great for the longevity, although shout out to him, he's still kicking. But it became his calling card. He's just one of the toughest humans who's ever walked this planet. But my number 1 is the dog of all time. And I don't like the movie Rocky doesn't even compare to the real life Rocky. Number 1 with an absolute bullet, Frankie, the answer, Edgar, the dog of all dogs. Nobody is more of a dog than this man. Entire career undersized. I don't think there was an opponent he ever had a physical advantage over in terms of length, size, any of that, and just put it on people for an entire UFC championship reign. If you've never seen the fight with Gray Maynard, where in the first round he was on the verge of death because Gray Maynard was hammering him so hard, and he comes back to win, Frankie Edgar was an unstoppable force and a guy that could not be kept down and never competed in his actual weight class till the very end of his career. Absolute dog. Knew it had to be Frankie Edgar. It pained me not to be Sakuraba, but I don't think Frankie Edgar gets enough respect for being a real life Rocky. He's better than Rocky. He's better than the film version of Rocky.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Frankie Edgar's a fucking
fantastic
dog, man.
list. You win this list for sure.
Nah, you're gonna have some good dogs.
I'm more of a new age fan. That's okay.
Let's do the eras.
You know, yours is sort of an older one, and now like there's a couple that I'm really regretting not putting on. I went more glamour, you know. Either way, let's knock mine out. Number 5, dog, Max Holloway.
Yeah.
Just like definition, tried and true. Dude is not quitting. The point to the octagon, did it not only once, he did it twice. The guy is always down for a scrap. Never going to quit. 400 significant strikes in a fight. I'm the best boxer in the UFC. Bloodied up. Doesn't matter. Dog. Absolute dog. Love Max Holloway. And there's a reason the fans love him as well. Number 4, all of these guys could be one. I have like a million guys that could have been one. Dan Hooker. Absolute dog this man is. I mean, like when this sick dude gets in the corner and they're like trying to give him advice. They're like, oh, you know, go for the takedown and stay at range. And he's just like, guys, shut up. I fucking love this shit, man. Like bleeding like hell. Like, you know, like just the blonde hair is turned red from the blood when he takes the head kick from Jalen Turner, gets the face fracture, the broken arm, and he's just like, it's just a scratch, man. I'm ready to get right back out there. Dan Hooker, been in some absolute wars
Yep.
over the years. Dog. Absolute dog. Number 3, a guy that he has been in a war with. One of the most dogs of all dogs, Dustin the Diamond, El Diamante, Poirier. It's when you got a picture like this in a championship fight going against Islam Makhachev, you got, I think, a torn ACL in the fight. You're old. You're getting ready to retire, but you're going toe to toe with the pound for pound number 1. The dude is an absolute dog. Will fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. You know he's not going to quit. El Diamante, absolute dog. Number 2. We saw some doggery in the UFC, but we really started seeing the doggery when he went to BKFC, and that is Platinum Mike Perry.
Oh, I like it.
Absolutely no one can say that this man is not a dog. You don't get a picture like this with the gloves off and become the king of violence in BKFC. BKFC that we've seen former champions go over to and just kind of wilt to the insanity of the sport without being a dog. Mike Perry. Mike Platinum Perry, maybe the hardest all-time picks of being in fights is Mike Platinum Perry. The nose.
Oh, wow.
Dude is an absolute dog.
Yeah.
Number 1, you had him at number 4. He was in here just the other week. One of the greatest fights of all time. A dude who doesn't believe in ending a fight by submission. It needs to be by strikes. That's Mr. Ruthless Robbie Lawler. Absolute dog. All you got to do is look at the pictures of him against Rory McDonald.
Yeah.
Just go back to the dude's fight career. He is an absolute madman. Never going to quit on you. Dog.
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 That was a great list.
Ruthless.
That was a great list.
Robbie Lawler. Honorable mentions.
Yes,
we
I have
could
a
go
ton.
forever.
Go.
Bisping.
For sure.
Nate Landwehr.
Hell yes.
Dog. If you know him for anything, you know him for being a dog.
If he's not going to lose, he might win.
If he's not going to lose, he fucking might win. This one is the one that I really felt bad about not putting on. He was my 6th. Alexandre Pantoja.
Oh, shout out to Pants.
Fucking dog. Never been finished in 35 fights. Looks like he's just out there just wobbled and he's got your
Zombie Pants is mad dangerous.
Zombie Pants when he comes out there just people are he's gassing. It's nah, I'm just getting going.
Yeah.
I'm just getting going. Alexandre Pantoja, dog. Merab Dvalishvili, good shout by you, Frank. Brandon Royval, raw dog.
Raw dog. Shout out to the
dog. Absolute dog.
Somebody super chatted in. I want to read this one early. Sorry, I'm just trying to find our super chat. No, Frank, we didn't need it just then.
I did that.
Mike Breeden beat Anshul via barking. So he has to.
He was down 2 rounds to none, turned to the barking and got it done.
Some for me. Brian Ortega.
Oh.
Brian Ortega.
Dog.
How many times had that dude been down and just found it and just summoned it? Gerald Mearshart.
Dog.
Dog. Darren Elkins. Dog. Korean Zombie. Dog. Sneaky one. Women's side. Underrated. Misha Tate. Misha Tate is an absolute dog.
Joanna.
Korean Zombie. Stephen Bonner. Julian Arosa. The Diaz brothers, both of them. You had Dustin. You had him in the picture with Max. Justin Gaethje.
Fucking dog.
Tony Ferguson. Please pay respects to a dog.
Fucking dog.
Tony Ferguson. I had Mark Hunt. I also had Volk. I also had Max Holloway. But there's a lot of dogs out
there. Dan Ige.
Yeah,
dog.
Hell yeah.
Sneaky. DDP.
Yeah.
Fucking dog. DDP's a dog, baby. Barking. Yoel Romero. Dog.
Oh, wow. Shout out to the Yoel Bark.
There are some dogs out there, man.
Jean Silva?
Jean Silva's a dog, bro.
Is he?
He's a dog.
Yeah, he's a dog.
Dog?
Who?
Is he?
Dog?
Oh, yeah, of course. He's by name.
Yo, I'm looking in the chat right now. Jim Miller.
Yeah.
Dog.
Right. Yeah, I fucked up not even mentioning Jim
Chris
Miller.
Lieben.
That's
Is he not wear a dog collar? I don't understand. Is that not a dog?
Yeah, he did wear a dog collar, but yeah.
You don't got that dog in it?
I don't know. There's a controversy. I don't know.
There's some dogs out there.
Dogs.
It's just so fun to go back and be like, yeah, these dudes were tough as
Chuck
shit.
Liddell.
For sure.
Dog. Big Nog. Shogun.
Oh, Big Nog. Big
Dogs.
Nog. Pride just had a bunch of dudes who could
Rampage,
just do
Howling.
it. Yeah, well,
I'm looking at the chat now.
the Wolf.
Boars.
Oh, Hamza?
Hamza's a dog, bro. I'm not fighting that motherfucker. He's crazy.
a wolf. He's a wolf. He's a wolf.
Clay Guida.
Oh yeah,
Dog.
damn. There's too many. This was too hard. This was too
It
hard.
was
to
too
get to
hard.
five.
I actually think this was our hardest list just because there's so many of them.
And it's also like hard to be like, this guy's the number 1, this guy's the number 5. It's like every one of these is one. It's one, one.
Isn't a dog and had it a little easier?
Who?
No, I'm asking. Like maybe the list should have been who are the top 5 that are not
Not dogs?
Melvin Manhoof.
Well, he used to wear a collar. I think that's where that one's coming from.
I'm just reading the chat right now. JDS. Someone said Irene Aldana. Yeah, I guess after that sphere card.
Probably.
That is dog behavior.
I think in fighting, you could name a Mexican fighter, and you probably got a dog.
Matt Schnell. Dog.
Yes.
Dog. I love it, man. I love it.
It's so fun. It's so fun.
It's so good, man. It's so good. Shout out to the dogs out there.
No, these were great.
That is my favorite archetype of fighter.
Yeah.
The dogs, baby.
They got the dog.
That was a fun one, obviously. In honor of the card this weekend in Georgia, UFC Atlanta, we did Bulldogs, the dogs, biggest dogs in MMA. Frankie, we get any voicemails this week? Wow! That was fucking crazy.
With the reverb. I love it. Oh, that was great.
Sick.
That was great.
So, boys,
Frankie's like, shut the
Brett
fuck
from
up.
Nebraska.
Oh, big dog
Literally
from Nebraska.
pausing the show to call in because I am so offended that GC does not think that I know that Tevin Coleman went to Indiana. That was for you, bro. You're a Falcons fan. Obviously, I'm going to throw a little shout out for your guy. Just a random little Falcon. That way, put a little smile on your face.
Love the respect.
And you come at me acting like, I don't know where Tevin Coleman went to college. Of course I know he went to Indiana. I know ball like that. Please don't come at me again.
I wasn't coming at you, bro. I just want to make sure.
Randall L.
Oh, shout out to Antoine Randall L. That's a deep one to the point that I can't even.
I only know his Steelers career.
I was gonna say
that's quarterback Antoine Randall.
Yeah. I know. He played quarterback and wide receiver.
For who though?
He went to Indiana as well. Wow. Good shout. Good shout. Keep those coming. I love an obscure mid-2000s athlete.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. Shout out to Algie Crumpler.
That's not obscure though. That's Falcons. You're fucking cheating.
What's up, boys in the back? It's Jacob from Denver, Colorado.
What's up, Jacob?
I just want to call in and say I love the show. Love you guys. Connor, Rick, Frank, you guys genuinely make my life better, and I love the show.
Wow, that's an amazing compliment.
That being said,
oh God, here we go.
Connor Burks, I think you absolutely suck. You're taking everything I work for, motherfucker. I want to ride against your fucking ass. You know who's the real ride? Who's the real money ride? Me, not Tom Brady. You know you already punked him. Ain't nobody want to see that. You know you can beat them already. It's an easy ride. You want the real shit? Right here, motherfucker. If I ever see you around an Averon bike, Connor, I'm going to smoke you easier than Carlos Prates smokes a fucking Marlboro Red. Peace.
God, bravo. That was
well done.
Unbelievable. Jacob from Denver, obviously paying homage to Nate Diaz's call out of Conor McGregor.
Incredible.
That was incredible. That was a 10 out of 10 voicemail from Denver. The training and altitude, I get it. But at the end of the day, if I ever see you on a bike, you're dead.
Yo, boys in the back. Dylan from Laguna Niguel.
What's up, Dylan?
Just wondering, what are 3 things you guys learned in your 30s that you wish you knew in your 20s? Thanks. And Frank, do you want to play some Counter-Strike? I'm pretty good. I think I could help you rank up. All right, later.
I see you.
Frank, you a Counter-Strike guy?
Huge.
Also, was he
Wait, actually though?
No, not really.
Oh, okay.
Did he ask, what did he ask?
What are some things we wish we knew in our 20s that we learned in our 30s?
That's a
I mean, you're fresher to it.
Yeah. Like patience in your career. Like typically, like most things do work out. Like whether it's just like working terrible hours. I used to work horrid hours. Thought it was never going to end. Finances, like they eventually work out. My parents used to always tell me that, and I did not listen to them. I wish I had just listened to them, been like, it's going to be all right.
So it's like the patience of like not being anxious about these things.
Yeah, like if you're just starting out in your career and you are 24 years old, you have so long ahead of you. I am 31 and my dad is like, yep, 35 more years so you can even think about retiring. Like, it's just like, I am like 7 years into my career, and that means I am like 1/6 of the way done with it. Like, I have so much longer to go. Like, it's just a patience of like, you're not going to get there in a day, man. Like, just have patience.
Yeah, that's a great one. I had a similar thought, which is along the lines of the patience, which is just like the things will work out. Like I've also fully agree with that. But it manifests itself as like, don't put the pressure on yourself in your 20s to like finish the race. Like there's so much time, as you said. Like, don't put the pressure on yourself. Like, I'm applying for this job out of college. It's going to be my first job, and it's not going to be your last job. Promise. Like back in your parents' and even your grandparents' era, that might have been your job that you stick with for 50 years and you retire with a plaque and all that shit.
Dad.
It just doesn't. Yeah, your dad, for example, doesn't happen like that anymore. Don't put pressure on yourself. Your first job is not going to be your last job. So like, don't think of every move as this like set in stone. I can't move on from here. I have to do this right. Take some chances. Like that. That's kind of it. Use your 20s.
That being said,
yes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were done.
Man, you have a really bad feel for when people are done talking, Frank.
You literally stopped talking.
No, why don't you give one, Frank?
Go
ahead. I needed to learn the importance of being able to say no.
That actually is a big one, man, because every time you say yes, you're taking away time from yourself.
And that you don't know everything in your 20s. Like every year of my 20s, I was like, man, I got everything figured out. And then the following year, it'd be like, I didn't know shit last year, but now I know everything. And then reflecting back on my 20s, like, I did not know shit.
Yeah, didn't know shit. I still don't know shit. I don't know shit. Take care of your finances. Take care of your health. God.
Health important.
Take care of your health, man. Health problems just kind of start popping up in your...
Yeah, you get older.
As you get older. I mean, to break the fourth wall, I got a nosebleed earlier in the show. I don't know why. That's why Rick started laughing earlier. I had to crawl under the camera to go get a box of tissues. So yeah,
dog in you.
Got the dog in me. Take care of the health. Take care of the finances.
As it was all being set up, I was like wondering how this is gonna play. Like how could, because we're on the two cams, and then
so like if I walked across the camera, like this is what you'd see. It's just like boom, right there. Can't go grab them, so had to crawl.
Another good one that I've forgotten as we were talking about the tissues thing. It'll come to me. But,
it'll work out. Everything will work out. That's
good.
The best one. Just have patience and know that it's gonna work out, man.
Boys in the back.
Yes.
Eric from Detroit again.
Oh, what's up, Eric?
The wife and I are going to the first ever BKFC Ice Wars event this weekend.
Ice Wars.
Jealous.
Wanted to know your interest level in this. Will you be watching? Also, what's the most random live event you've all been to? Shout out to Frank and his jersey list. Red Wings #1. He knows ball. Love you guys.
Or I know Puck.
Yeah, you know Puck. Most random event I've ever been to.
Are you interested in Ice Wars?
Yes, I am very interested in Ice Wars.
I don't know if I'm going to watch it. I
feel like it's like you catch the highlights type thing, but BKFC moves quick. You're going to have a blast in person. That's going to be absolutely ridiculous. Put a couple beers back and watch some guys fight on the ice. That's going to be tremendous. Most random event I've ever been to. Me and Frank went to a like not PDC darts competition in 2023.
Oh man.
Sort of during like the darts fever. We got invited by a guy who watched the show, and yeah, it was really random. Like it was just in like a tiny hall, like performance hall. There was probably, what would you say, Frank, like 1,500 people there? And like
not even.
When we went to PDC like 2 months later, there was like one or two guys from it, but like this was like, we're talking about like lower level darts that me and Frank went to in Jersey City. It was incredibly random. That probably is my most random event I've ever been to.
because it was our first darts experience, like all the costume and stuff just felt so out of place.
The costumes and like the like
context,
when a 180 happens, going crazy.
When we went to the theater and there's like, okay, I get it. You wear a costume, it's almost like there's seas of people that are together. But at the bar, it was like one guy just wearing a random costume by himself. It's like, all right.
Yeah, that was a random one.
Yeah, I've been to some like small amateur MMA shows.
LFA 123 or 124 I went to in a tiny auditorium in Phoenix, Arizona, because I was out there for the waste management and LFA was there, and I was like, fuck it, I'll go. That was random.
I've been to boxing at like ballrooms in Queens and things like that. It's just kind of the nature of the combat sports biz. You just show up to these random.
Saw the Amarillo Gorillas play. That's like an amateur hockey team.
Oh yeah, shit. I've been to like Hartford Wolfpack games. I've been to like Brooklyn Cyclone games. I've been to some minor league events. Gwinnett Gladiators, shout out. Like I've been to some minor league. I
feel like we're saying small time. I don't know what he meant by random, but I think that's it.
I feel like in my 20s, going back to the 20s thing, you do kind of random things. I saw this band in the subway. They were just some brass band, and I just took a flyer. Me and a friend went to Brooklyn to a random warehouse and saw them. We had a great time.
Wow, that's great.
Cool story, bro.
Wow, Frank.
I don't know why Frank is throwing shade as he's talking about some armadillos that he watched play.
All right, voicemails.
Hey, boys, my back. Sully against Cape Cod. Sorry for blowing your phone up, but I had a quick question. If you could just pick one person for Ariel Helwani to interview on his show, like just that he hasn't interviewed before, who would it be? Because I had one guy in mind I thought would be a pretty interesting interview. Devin Larratt, the arm wrestling champion. The guy's just a tank of an arm wrestler, and I thought it'd be a cool interview. Seems like a pretty interesting dude, too. And, I mentioned that to Helwani, if you remember, too. That'd be cool if you get that guy and interview him. But, that is all. Have a good weekend, bros. Love you.
Shout out. Cape Cod, did he say?
Yeah.
Shout out Cape Cod. Love their potato chips.
I'm aware of that arm wrestler guy that he said because I watched I'm on TikTok for hours at a time.
Okay.
And there's tons of arm wrestling content on TikTok. Or at least my algorithm has served me.
The big Hawaiian?
Not Power Slap.
No,
that's who you're saying you want Helwani.
I'm always pushing for him to get Power Slap, guys. He never listens. Nah, I'm just kidding.
Who
he hasn't had on? That's a tough one.
It doesn't have to be a fighter. Who would I want to see Helwani interview? I mean, there's the obvious, right? There's like well, he said he hasn't interviewed him before, because then I would have been like Dana White, but he's interviewed Dana White many times.
I know, but like let's just say, because like the statute of limitations have crossed because it's been a few years, that'd be a fascinating.
That'd be a banger.
That'd be a fascinating.
Who's like I don't know, like you know what I would like to see? Like Jalen Brunson, because I just know Ariel would enjoy it so much.
Yeah.
I feel like that'd probably be fantastic. There's probably some like, just like entertainment people or like media people out there that would probably be in the mix.
Anthony Kiedis?
Sure. I think that'd be fascinating too. Like, I think Ariel's just a fantastic interviewer. And so I'd almost like, in MMA, who hasn't he spoken to at this point? I almost feel like you have to go outside that.
Nina Drama?
That'd be interesting. Yeah. Is that your vote?
I mean, those three. Maynard James Keenan, Anthony Kiedis, Nina Drama. In that order.
Fair enough.
Shout
out.
Fellas, what's going on? It's Alex from Alabama.
What's up, Alex?
Keep up the great work. Loving the show. Love everything you guys are doing.
Appreciate you.
Quick question. Okay, so what are you guys' all-time favorite players from your respective hometowns? And GC, why are the only correct answers for Atlanta Chipper Jones or Mike Vick? All right, fellas, appreciate it. Also, a quick side note, June is Men's Mental Health Month, so I just want to say, hey, we're all hurting a little bit. No need to hurt alone. All right, keep up the good work, fellas. Love y'all.
Hey, shout out Alex.
That's a great
message.
message.
Shout out to Bama. I second that. Favorite player for one of my hometown teams, Chipper's great. Mike Vick, legend. Mike Vick was one of the most exciting superstar where it was like, holy shit, we are really on the map with this dude. Number 1 overall pick, getting the Nike commercials, everything like that, cover of Madden. Got us to the NFC Championship game. But like, he also did leave the franchise high and dry. Like when he went to jail.
There's no love lost with Mike Vick.
I got love for Mike Vick in terms of like what he did for the city. But like, dude, he left the Falcons in a terrible, terrible situation. Joey Harrington. Like, the Falcons were shit for a few years until they got Matt Ryan.
Shout
and
out
like,
Algie Crumpler.
we were looking like we were going to win a Super Bowl, and he was like so exciting, but like he's not the number one. Chipper Jones, I love. He is an all-time Atlanta guy, but like Braves were never my number one. It was always the Falcons in terms of Atlanta teams. Falcons were my one, and that's why my number one is Julio Jones. He got drafted when I was like 14. Unbelievable. At his peak, man. At his peak, I'm talking like 135 catch season, 1,850 yards, 10 touchdown season. At his peak, he was one of the best receivers of all time. The 300-yard game against the Panthers, like the dude was an absolute monster. I've never seen an NFL wide receiver, maybe other than like Calvin Johnson, put like a team on his back like Julio Jones would do. And that 300-yard game against the Panthers, if I'm not mistaken, was the year that they were 15-0 with Cam Newton. I could be wrong on that, remembering it. I know we're the ones that gave them their one loss that season, but Julio Jones, in the 28-3 game, everyone loves bringing it up. He made an unbelievable sideline toe-tapping catch to put us into field goal range. We had Matt Bryant, the number one kicker in the league that year. All we had to fucking do was trot Matt Bryant out there, put it straight through the uprights, and there is a statue of Julio Jones making the toe-tap catch in front of Mercedes-Benz stadiums, and we're Super Bowl 51 champions, and the guy is an absolute legend. Hall of Famer, number one, Waffle House, because he's always open. Julio Jones is by far my favorite Atlanta sports player.
I love that. I don't root for the New York teams, so maybe like New York Fighter, like shout out Ali Aquinta, my guy. But shout out to all the New York guys. Aljamain Sterling was here yesterday. But yeah, I don't root for the New York team, so it's hard for me to answer this. What about you, Jordan? Who's like
Nobody from Queens? For me, it's actually Andy Pettit from Deer Park, Texas. It was in the neighboring like subdivision to me when I lived in the suburbs of Houston. But it was funny because while like in junior high, when kids would be asked like, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" They're like, "I want to play for the Yankees," and it's like, bro, that's not going to happen. Like that happened to one guy in the neighborhood. We get it, but not going to happen to you.
That's sick.
Go ahead, Jordan.
Right now, Charlie McAvoy plays for the Bruins from my hometown.
Oh, shout out. You guys are actually talking about like hometown dudes.
Yeah, that's like hometown.
Yeah, I got to pay a little. Larry Brown, hometown coach, same town. Didn't really last with the Knicks though.
There's no
Larry
athletes
Brown.
from Queens that you could think of, Rick?
Are there? I don't know.
Ron Artest.
I associate with
Ron
with the
Artest,
teams
Lamar Odom.
that I cheer for.
But those are not like my guys, you know?
And also, like, I see in the chat, like someone said, no Dominique Wilkins shout out. It's just like I didn't watch him play. I was too young. You respect those guys. You don't have actual fandom for them. You have to be there to watch the moments.
Oh, I got one
to become like a diehard fan.
Wrestler Action Bronson from Queens. That's my.
Hey,
that's my
shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Action Bronson.
I mean, Charlie Ward back in the day when I was a kid was just
Stud.
like I had a Charlie Ward jersey. My dad actually was lucky enough to go to a Heisman Trophy like dinner. Met Charlie Ward, got me a signed
I always thought it was
football.
so cool that Charlie won the Heisman and was playing for the Knicks. Like I thought that was like one
He
of
was
the
like, I'm not
coolest
going to be a
things
good
in
football
sports.
player, but I can play point guard for the Knicks.
No,
Imagine
wasn't
that
it that he
athleticism.
could have been, unless I'm mistaken, he was going to be a good football player, but he knew that longevity was going to be better in basketball, even though he was a worse basketball player than football player.
Was Mike Tyson from Queens or Brooklyn?
Brooklyn.
But he like trained in Queens? I don't know where I got that mixed up. I thought there was
He's a
gym
Brooklyn guy.
in there. All right.
Mine's Malcolm Wellmaker.
Shout out.
What's up, boys in the back? This is Matt the Mailman here.
Let's go. What's
And
up,
I was
Matt?
just chilling on a Thursday, listening to the boys in the back like I always do. And I
Appreciate
hear
you.
some goober call me out for being a fraud.
Oh, we have a mailman war going on
Buddy,
here.
first of all, it's great to know I'm living rent-free out there. It's always a good feeling. But second of all, you want to settle this, I will have my boy GC fly us out. Thank you, GC.
Yeah, no problem, man.
We can throw on the gloves,
The
and we can
gloves.
settle this. I will dog walk you all up the streets of New York City, and we can see who the fraud really is. Also, Frank, add me back on Clash Royale. I would love to run some duos with you sometime.
Clash Royale.
Thank you, boys. God bless. See you at the top.
See you at the top,
Clash
brother.
Royale.
The Clash Royale was a great shout. I don't think we need to box. I think we need to box.
Yeah, you need to mail.
Who can box things and
Yes.
get them to
Yes.
the place as fast as possible.
Did we start beef with Mel?
No, they started beef with each other, but I'm not, as GC said, I'm not interested in
I wonder
you
if
guys
they're
fighting.
both USPS. I wonder
Who's
if
the
one's
best mail
UPS,
carrier?
Maybe
That's what I want to see.
Maybe one's FedEx. Maybe a DHL out there. You never know.
Like, send us your stats. My email is in my X bio. Send me your mailman stats. I want to know who's the better mailman.
What's up, boys? Saleh from Chicago here, calling in again. Two-part question for you here. The two parts aren't related at all. I don't know why I said that. First question.
Two
What's
questions.
your least favorite either sports player or sports team? Player, or I guess you could say fighter. Top of mind, Colby Covington. It's more so the character. I fucking despise him. He's a bum. Team, Michigan Wolverines, ass. I'm an Ohio State fan. Go Bucks. Second part of the question, do you prefer watching the fights alone or with a group of people? I realized I like plopping down on my couch, cuddling up with my dog, ripping the pen, fucking sitting here watching these fights by myself. I much prefer that than watching it in a big group. All right, peace, boys. Talk to you later.
Least favorite team, least favorite
Who's like
athlete?
hated? Who's like hated for you?
Walter Cortez Acosta. Not like I don't really have any like vitriol towards like athletes individually and teams. Like I feel like when I was younger, I really used to like my brother went to Georgia Tech, my dad went to Georgia. I was always a Georgia fan, and then obviously I went to Georgia. I hated Georgia Tech for a while, but like I don't know, I'm not really bothered by teams. My other brother went to Bama. I don't really have any issue with Bama, even though they have stopped us from numerous national championships. I used to really hate the Patriots. I used to despise the Patriots, and then 28-3 happened, and like I really hated them. But now, like I don't really care. Like when
So
people
you
are like,
softened, but you did.
yeah, I used to like really like despise them. I don't know. I feel like I've just like as I've gotten older, my fandom has like sort of chilled. Like I'm just kind of like, yeah, I support my teams, and that's pretty much it. Like the Patriots also suck now, so it doesn't really matter. Like when people are like 28-3, I'm just like, okay, that's fine.
I'm sure 24-inch Dubs is loving that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not that bothered by it. Like I don't know. Like I actually find it crazy how like Ariel has this like burning fire hatred towards like the Pacers, the Heat, like all of the like stereotypical Knicks rivals. Same thing with like the Bills rivals and all of that. I don't know. I just like I don't really. Maybe it's just I don't care enough. Maybe I just like am not diehard enough of a fan anymore.
Yeah, for me it's Yuri Welsh.
Okay.
Hate him. We'll never forgive him.
Who is this?
He is a player who was on the Boston Celtics, and the Cavaliers traded a first-round pick for him in our LeBron era. And he was supposed to be like help, and he proceeded to put up like 2 points a game on like 15% shooting and was an absolute shit pile, and then was traded for like a second-round pick. And I will never forgive him for that and hate him to this day. I will never forgive Yuri Welsh, and he was absolute garbage for the Cavs.
Shout out.
But boys in the back, what's going on, fellas?
Pretty catchy.
Watching UFC 316, just seeing Kayla dominate.
Yeah, dominate.
Like most of the world expected. But this is Derek from Trinity, North Carolina, originally from Lithonia, Georgia.
Hey,
shout out.
You said it, not me.
Had to ask, question. Do you think the UFC gives Macy Barber the Armand treatment? Kind of different situations, but we know how things go, and they kind of hate Armand right now, in my opinion. And also, shout out GC. I always share your memes every pay-per-view that you post.
Appreciate that, bro.
And the few times that I've reached out on IG, you've responded a couple times, but I know you're really big time now. You're kind of famous, so I know you can't respond to everything. But just wanted to say, love you guys, love the show. I'm watching y'all watch party right now, and let's get back to it. Main event on the way.
Let's go. I appreciate that, bro.
A lot of Georgia love for you. The
UFC Atlanta Fight Week, baby. Let's
State's
go.
showing out.
I am not too big time. I'm just super lazy when it comes to my IG messages. I just get overwhelmed when I open them, and it's just like 4+, 4+, 4+, 4+. So if I have never responded to you, I do really apologize. I'm really lazy with it. Like some
you
guy.
want more DMs? Is that it?
Do you want more DMs? I don't think you want more DMs. Like some dude hit me up and asked if we could link up at
my Instagram. Yeah.
Some dude asked if we could link up at UFC Atlanta, and I was like, oh, sure. And he's like, all right, I'll hit you up. And like as soon as he sent that back, I was like, fuck, there's a real chance I just never recheck the messages. So I'm going to try my best to recheck my messages so we can link up. Other one was Macy Barber get the Armin treatment. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Most importantly, wasn't a title fight. Secondly, it was just a fight night at the Apex. You can just kind of like just go off into the breeze. Like the pay-per-views are their moneymakers. It's not the Apex cards. And also, she was like deathly ill. Armin Sarukian was sort of like a back thing. Macy Barber was hospitalized.
Yeah, there was like back and forth with the doctor. Can he? Can't he? That seemed like a completely different situation than the Macy Barber one. But shout out to Georgia.
Hi, this is Mary Jo.
What's up,
I just wanted to represent some of the girls that live, breathe, and die for all things MMA. And just wanted to say thanks to all of you guys. Love the show. Love all the content and consume it constantly. Don't really have a question, but just wanted to, be another one of the girls so that the girl that called last week doesn't feel alone and she knows that we do exist. Thanks again for all the stuff you guys do. Keep it up. You're doing great work. Thanks so much. Bye.
Wow, that was amazing, Mary Jo. I constantly see her in the chat. I also see her on Instagram. Shout out to Mary Jo, man. It's nice to see the women representation on the voicemail.
Yeah, it's building up. I love
please. We love it.
Growing the sport over here, baby.
Hi, it's Fraser calling from Manchester, England.
Let's go.
First of all, I'm going to say that answering phone message is some of the corniest shit I've ever heard in my life. I absolutely love it. Secondly, I am coming over stateside, crossing the pond, taking my wife to, she thinks, Orlando. We're going to go to Disney World and visit a friend of mine in Tampa. What she doesn't know is we're stopping en route to see my beloved Manchester City play in Atlanta in the Club World Cup.
Sick.
She's not a great flyer, so she's going to absolutely hit the roof when she finds out. DC, I've got 48 hours in Atlanta to convince her it was worth the extra stop off. What should my itinerary be? Cheers, boys. Love you.
Okay, first and foremost, the fact that you are going to get to go to a soccer game at Mercedes-Benz Stadium is there enough. It is one of the most beautiful stadiums I have ever been to. It has to be one of the most beautiful in the entire world. And like watching a game there, I've watched soccer there. I've been to Atlanta United games, watched many of football games there. It is just an aesthetically pleasing stadium, especially if you get it in the day and the camera lens roof is open. Like it is just a behemoth of a stadium. You guys are gonna love it. The fact that you're going to get to watch your team play there, like it is going to be a high quality experience. Concessions are amazing. Drinks are amazing. Like it is, I can't speak highly enough. It is one of Atlanta's best attractions. So the fact that you're going to a game there is massive. Now you have more time to kill. If you're staying in downtown, you want to go to a fancy dinner before the game, take her to the Sundial restaurant at the Westin. It's all the way up top in the Westin. Beautiful views of the Atlanta skyline. It's fantastic. If you don't want to go that high up and pay that much money, near there is the Ferris wheel. Gets you incredible views. It's like Sky View Atlanta. It's a massive Ferris wheel right next to Centennial Olympic Park. You should also go there, walk through it. A bunch of homages to the 1996 Olympics. Beautiful park, especially during the summer. It's going to be incredible weather. The ring fountains, the Olympic ring fountains are incredible. You can just continue walking through there. World of Coke. Georgia Aquarium, I've been to 18 billion times. Every time people come to Atlanta, they're like, let's go to the aquarium. Used to be the biggest aquarium in the world. Somewhere in China past it.
Yeah, don't they have a huge like shark tank?
Whale shark tank.
Holy shit.
Whale sharks there. Yeah, it's like people are like, oh yeah, go to the Mystic Aquarium in Connecticut, and I go, I'm just like, yeah, this ain't that great. The one in Atlanta is fucking insane. No better words to describe it. You got the penguins, the belugas, the whale sharks. It truly is. It's an incredible experience getting to go to that. Right next to it is World of Coke. World of Coke is okay. World of Coke is all right. The history is kind of cool, and you get to taste a bunch of Cokes from around the world. It's okay. Being from Manchester, you're not going to be interested in the College Football Hall of Fame. Restaurants-wise, Hand-Cooked Taqueria. I'm going this weekend. Korean tacos. The Varsity, I'm going to show you what to get this weekend. Fantastic. Taqueria del Sol, get the lemon cream enchiladas. Flying Biscuit if you want breakfast. Low-key breakfast spot, R. Thomas, tell him I sent you. Absolutely love that spot. Yeah, dude, 48 hours, you're going to have plenty to do. It is a beautiful city, especially in the summer. City in the forest, Love Atlanta. You are going to
I feel
enjoy
like
it, I promise.
any of our MMA fans who are watching can use the same tips. They
Piedmont Park. Go to the Beltline, too. If you got time to kill, go walk on the Beltline. Go to pop in some restaurants. It's just a long walking path with just bars, restaurants. Go there. It'll be fantastic. If the Braves are playing, go to the Battery. There's a shit ton to do in Atlanta. You're going to have a great time, man.
Robert from El Paso. Just want to say, love watching the show. Except for Frank, he still sucks.
Wow.
Question for GC. Do you think you could take Merab on the bike? For some reason, he's the one person I think that smokes you.
Yeah. I don't know how I beat Merab. It's a tricky puzzle to solve, not only in the octagon, but on the Aviron bike. I mean, he trains out in Long Island every once in a while. Let's get him in here. I'm willing to try. I mean, I feel like going longer there will not be a benefit to me, so we just have to do the
sprint.
like 90-second sprint. I'd kill my legs. Won't be able to walk for a week, but I just go balls to the wall and hopefully get it done.
Yeah, I have to imagine Merab on any cardiovascular based exercise is just absolute monster
for sure.
Appreciate what he said at the front end too.
Wow, well, extra dig at Frank. No, we love Frank.
Getting heated back there.
Hey, this is Kat. I'm calling from Memphis, Tennessee.
What's up, Kat?
And I'm in like the 1% of your 2% of listeners, and that I'm a female listener
Shout
and
out to
also a NASCAR fan. So I was really into the few weeks of NASCAR banner and updates that we got a little while back.
Shout out Denny Hamlin winning
GC
the
actually
Yahoo
inspired
card.
me to play some NASCAR bets.
Oh, fuck, I'm sorry.
Because of his enthusiasm, and he was absolutely right about how much fun it is. So thanks for that shout.
I hope
Danny
you won.
Hamlin's podcast is my go-to NASCAR podcast
Shout
every
out.
post-race Monday. And this week, after his exciting win in Michigan, he shared that he'd be competing in the Fanatics game. And then I hear that y'all will be doing a live show there.
Okay.
Sounds like an amazing time, and maybe your paths will cross, and my own little podcast fandom worlds will collide for just a moment. So be on the lookout for the man who beat your favorite driver. I love the show. BITB is in my weekly rotation now. Thanks for the great MMA content.
Kat from Memphis?
Yeah.
Shout out. That was a fantastic call.
More of this.
Yeah.
Love this.
Shout out, Kat.
We will be at Fanatics Fest on Friday. Ariel Helwani show on the Cold as Balls stage. Look for us if you are there. It's going to be a great time at the Joseph Javits Center?
Jacob
Javits Center. I knew it was JJ. In Midtown Manhattan. It's going to be a great time. We'll also be posting a video from that. It's going to be great. Denny Hamlin. Shout out. He won in the Yahoo car and gave one of these after he won. He was in the Yahoo 11. Shout out to that. If we see him, I'll bring my Denny Hamlin Yahoo shirt to, like, if we see him, I'll throw it on and be like, Denny, I work at Yahoo, man. Let me get a pick. Shout out to NASCAR. The betting, I don't advise anybody does it, but it's the best sweat in sports.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Yo, what up, boys in the back? This is Dominic from Indiana. This message is for Connor specifically.
Jeez.
Connor, just wanted to let you know that you were in my dream last night.
Oh,
no
God.
joke. And don't worry, it's not anything
Tough.
crazy or weird like that.
All right.
I was at some beautiful park just walking around, and it was a little windier than I would have liked, but, still very nice out. And then all of a sudden I ran into you and asked if you wanted to play catch. And then next thing I know, you and me are just like throwing the football back and forth for a little while. And then I eventually woke up. It was actually really nice. I don't know if that's like an omen or something, saying that we're supposed to be really good friends. But if you wanted to explore that further, just let me know, dude. Peace. Have a nice day, y'all.
All right, that was an all-time message right there. Have to say, love a good game of catch.
You want to throw the football around with homeboy?
I'm ambidextrous.
Oh,
in my car, I carry around a lefty and a righty glove with a baseball in it, just in case someone wants a game of catch.
Wow.
I'm just like, what hand do you throw with? They're just like, right? I'm like, all right, I'll throw lefty. If they're lefty,
I didn't even
I'm
know.
like,
Are
all
you,
right.
are you
I'll
a
throw
big
right.
baseball guy? Like, did you play little league as a kid?
No, I am dog shit at baseball.
You just like the catch.
You just love playing catch. I can throw it around with any of them.
Okay.
Loved when I back in my football days, wide receiver, glue hands over here. I'm talking like we're getting 5 fingers on the ball. These are fundamental catches over here. No body catches or anything like that. Love a good game of catch. Growing up, it was just like, let's just go out in the street and just throw. Frisbee, I keep a Frisbee on me at all times. Football, keep it on me at all times, baby. Nothing like just like floating them around, passing the time with your boys. Just a good game of catch. honestly, the only reason I want to have kids is so I can have a son that'll grow up and play catch with me. He'll be like, you want to play catch? I'll be like, bet your ass I do. Just speaking of Mike Vick, that's the whole reason I'm ambidextrous.
He's ambidextrous
No,
as well?
he's
a
lefty.
lefty. Yeah.
I was righty. He's lefty. I was like, God, he
wanted
looks
to
so
throw it.
sick.
Oh, okay.
And I was like 9 years old. Just started letting it rip lefty. Shout out to Catch, man. Shout out to you. It's a good dream.
What's up, boys? This is Hunter from Arkansas. Just want to say I really enjoy the show. Just want to say I'm looking forward to these fights this weekend. They're going to be great. Saturday's my birthday.
Oh, happy
the
birthday.
next day is my son's birthday. We're going to have a great weekend. Enjoy the fights. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks for doing it.
Man, hell of a voicemail there.
Yeah.
Shout out to Hunter from Arkansas.
And his son. Happy birthday
Happy birthday to both of you. Shout out to Arkansas as well.
What's up, boys in the back? This is the one and only Shark Attack, Steve Bush. Calling you
Steve?
from West Central Indiana by way of Chicago, Illinois. And on this edition of Boys in the Back, I had to ask one question in the spirit of the holiday coming up this weekend. Give me your top 5 baddest, not baddest, baddest men on the planet. Have a great day, fellas. You're doing great work.
Appreciate the call. He said daddest?
Daddest.
All right, so we actually talked about that as doing a pound for pound for Father's Day. Holloway's up there.
DC and Holloway were vying for the title.
DC super. He's daddest, man. There's a lot of great dads out there in the UFC.
Does it even have to be MMA? Who are the most dads?
Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers is dad
Yes.
for like 9 children.
Is it a volume game though? I feel like there's
Who's
dad
dad?
qualities. I feel like there's
Kirk
dad
Cousins, fucking dad.
Who's LeBron is kind of dad.
LeBron's
He's
very
corny.
dad,
He's
yeah.
like corny, but like he
Yeah.
loves his kids. He's always I don't know. But Holloway and DC, I feel like for the MMA crown.
Yeah.
Shout out to Steve.
What's up, boys? Camden, Southern California here. I wanted to give you guys my impression of Paddy Pimblett after his win at UFC 314. Here we go. I want Dustin, Justin, Charles. All right, anyways. My
Charles
dog
is a
for the
good
week
shout.
is Don Fry. Love you, boys. Thanks for everything. Later.
Who did he say his dog of the week was?
Don Fry.
Oh, fuck. That's a great
Don
call.
Fry is a great one.
Great shout, man.
Don Fry's a great one.
Yeah. The
Charles.
Good. Good shout.
Dustin?
That's the end of it.
Oh, all right. What? What?
No Don?
No Don Davis?
I think he was busy with Russell Brand.
It must have been
hell.
it. He
Wow.
was so busy with Russell, he couldn't
I
even
guess
give us
he's
a call.
busy with the Nashville show. Really? No Don Davis?
No Don
Really,
Davis.
no Don Davis.
I'm heartbroken. I'm waiting for the script to flip here.
No.
Wow.
No Don.
So did Andy and Jordan that I was fucking around too.
Ah.
It's just not there.
All right,
Yeah,
Don.
Don, if you're listening,
I guess he's
Frank
busy in
goes,
Nashville.
No Don Davis yet. And I said, do you have something hidden up your sleeve? He goes, no. Just like, said yet. Like it's still on the horizon here.
yeah,
I mean, it's
because
not too
there's-
late.
There's a cutoff
You could always
when
call.
we review these, and if he called after that,
He's
we would-
busy. I hope Don's all right. I hope Don is all right.
They're busy. They got a show. You know,
I'm waiting for the deed. All right, we got any super chats, Frank?
damn.
CR starts us off with BITB, best in the biz.
Hey, appreciate that,
Australian
CR.
flag.
Hey, shout out.
Thank you, CR.
Or New Zealand.
You should be able to identify.
They are pretty similar though. Drew Jenkins.
Whoa, $20. Appreciate you, Drew.
Jennings?
God,
Jennings.
you really struggle reading.
I try to read it on the preview, and then it goes to program, and I was like, "There's 8 N's in this name."
The irony
Frankie
is
and
this guy's
GC,
asking Frank to read his book.
Frankie and GC, my book, So Much Heart, recently won the Sergio Troncoso Award for First Book of Fiction. It has received praise from Nylon, Southern Review of Books, etc. Check it out. Much love from Texas, Drew Buxton. Drew, I'm going to add this to the list. The list is pretty long, I'm not going to lie, but I will check it out.
I'm down. You buy us 2 copies, I'll Venmo you. I'm down. I'm looking at it right here. Drew Buxton, So Much Heart. 4.9 on Goodreads?
Oh.
Fucking A, 5 stars on Amazon.
I'm not going to be left out of that one.
I'm in.
Book
Oh,
club?
it's a pretty sick cover. I gotta say, it's a pretty sick cover, Frank. I think you'll like it. Shout out to Drew, man.
Thank you, Drew. On the cover?
No, there's an orca whale with a hand coming out of it.
Huh?
With a phone. I don't even know what all is going on. It's a cool cover, though. So Much Heart by Drew Buxton.
Corbin says, old take, Stefan Skyscraper Scraper could have been a champ. He had KO power, good Dutch kickboxing, and decent subs, but he fought like he's 5'1".
Yeah, shout out. Shout out to the Skyscraper.
He
Fought
did,
like he's
he
5'1",
did fight smaller than
but
his
he's
height.
6'7".
Yeah, he did fight smaller.
Zico Gaming, here's some money for the studio guest chair.
Thank you, Zico. We needed that. We needed that. We're working on our facilities here. Yeah, shout out. I'll go down with you. Why not? We're getting near the end here.
Spencer comes in last saying, Onk at 230 pounds beats Aspinall. Lighter man skill, biggest threat to Tom, 100.
Spencer LeBute, if that's a heavyweight bout and Tom can be 265, I will let you believe that. I'll bet you even money Tom wins that fight.
I'll give you odds. I'll bet you anything I got.
I'll actually take Tom inside the distance.
Yeah,
even odds.
No, that's not a good fight. Tom is. I don't see anybody right now that's beating Tom.
And here is the cover to So Much Heart.
Yeah, it's
it
a
does
good
look
one.
Great.
It's a cool looking one, man.
Might hit up the Strand on the way out of here tonight.
You think it's at Strand?
I mean, I'm hoping it is.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
It's not
Frank.
at Strand. Let's put it there.
Don't judge a book by its cover.
I always do that.
It's a good lesson for
Honestly, that
everybody.
is not a bad. Just like when you go get wine, do you judge?
Don't
it
judge it by a label. Don't judge it by the label. It's hard
It
not
does
to.
a lot of the heavy lifting.
Yeah, I know, but that's what they want.
Same thing. I
That's
go
what
to
they want. They want the eyes.
buy records. Sometimes it's the cover that actually gets me to take the plunge.
That's always
Quick research on Drew Buxton.
Shout out.
Also writes wrestling poems.
Okay.
One named "The Nature Boy Lands in a Helicopter."
I'm
About
down.
Ric Flair.
Sign me up.
I'm down.
Wow, Drew's.
I'm looking at Drew right here. I got a picture of him. Shout out to Drew Buxton. No more super chats, Frankie?
That was the last one.
All right. Then we will leave. All the voicemails have been played.
I'm so
He's
sorry to
just
dis-
waiting
this
for
feels
Dawn.
Like Christmas morning.
All
when,
the
you've
super
opened all
chats
your
have been
presents
answered.
and you're like, "All right, Mom, Dad, where's the bike I asked for?" And they're like, "We're so sorry."
All right, I guess that's it. Don, enjoy the card this weekend. I thought we were going to get to promo it with you.
Donnie.
But Don misses out. That's going to do it for us here on The Boys in the Back. Tune into The Crack tomorrow. They'll have some reaction at PFL. A look ahead to UFC Atlanta. Shout out.
My finger slipped.
You fucker. Shout out. No more.
70.
It should be.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
nice.
Nice.
Nice. That'll do it for us here on The Boys in the Back. Watch The Crack tomorrow. Then we will be back on Monday. I will have returned from Atlanta. Everyone will have celebrated the bar mitzvah with Mr. Helwani. Ariel Helwani show on Monday. That's the next time you'll see us. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the fights. We'll see you next time.